Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Links are in the description below. Please show some love of the author and me. On to the show.
In this cold area, no one knows how many powerful hunters will be hidden. Therefore, this Siberian tiger with scars all over its body did not exude its own aura wantonly. This Siberian tiger is not an ordinary exotic tiger. It is the invincible tiger that was surrounded by heavy troops and still managed to break out of the siege. It came to the northern border of Siberia a few days ago, and originally wanted to unite the tiger clan here. It's just that the encirclement and suppression of human beings made the alien tigers here die and suffer injuries. The only remaining tigers also hid in the deep mountains, an old forest, and dared not come out. Only it came all the way without encountering an opponent. After the invincible tiger broke through again, the humans' encirclement and suppression of it became even weaker. The unparalleled power and speed like wind and electricity make it almost run amok. Coupled with the strong resistance and tenacious vitality of the alien species, it is difficult for technological killers to cause fatal damage to it. But in the continuous encirclement and suppression campaign, this invincible tiger's hostility to humans has already been deeply rooted in his bones. Although it has never united with its own race, it still intends to take revenge on humans. The trauma caused by the heavy siege by humans last time has not completely healed. It intends to rest in this area for a period of time. By the way, it will see if there are any primitive humans in this cold area. If there are any, it will naturally hunt them down. In this way of thinking, this invincible tiger did not kill the species in this area, and began to head towards Greenland, where some Inuit people were rumored to live. There is a long distance between the northern border of Siberia and Greenland, but this invincible tiger did not stop. When passing through this forest and Arctic region, it attracted the surveillance of many wolves. Even though it didn't show any breath, these wolves still didn't dare to get within a few hundred meters of it. However, this invincible tiger still took a look at these wolves. Those yellow tiger eyes were like the light of a knife. Just a glance made several wolves flee quickly with their tails between their legs. And just after the invincible tiger left, Father Wolf and Mother Wolf, who had been watching from a long distance, only felt that the suffocating pressure gradually dissipated. In the eyes of Wolf Father and Wolf Mother, there is still a hint of fear in Zinji. In fact, ever since his own cubs left with the pack of wolves, many hunters have been intruding into the North Pole one after another. However, during this period of time, Wolf Father and Wolf Mother have improved a lot in strength by devouring the different flower black fruit yin gallon fruit. Father Wolf has reached the middle of level 12. Mother Wolf has reached the peak of level 10. And both have acquired talents. Only those who have the talent of alien species can truly have the qualifications to gain a foothold in the cruel nature after the great change of the world. In addition, the hunters who broke in were not strong, and the Wolf Father and Mother led the wolf pack and drove those hunters out of the territory. But the Siberian tiger just now was too strong. Just by glancing at them, the oppressive force made them almost stop breathing. Fortunately, this Siberian tiger only passed through the territory of wolves. Otherwise, Dad Wolf felt that he might not be able to survive a round under the claws of this invincible tiger. At that time, let alone defending the territory, leading the wolves to escape would be the best ending. Naturally, Su Lin didn't know what happened on the territory of the wolves. He is fighting with alien blood. Among them, the fight with the different species of grizzly bear was the most intense. After fighting for a long time, Su Lin gained the upper hand with his powerful combat power. It's just that a mysterious green light flashed from behind the alien grizzly bear again. This time, due to the very close distance, Su Lin finally saw clearly what the green light was. This turned out to be a different grass dodder. Cuscuta is a very common parasitic plant with extremely strong viability and can adapt to various environments. But it was very unexpected that Su Lin never expected that this dodder would be parasitized with a different species of grizzly bear. Because in his impression, dodders are parasitic on some plants, and there has never been a precedent for parasitic on animals. It can be seen that after these parasitic plants have mutated, the parasitic hosts have long been not limited to plants. Ordinary dodder may not be able to adapt to the cold temperature of the Arctic forest, but the exotic grass can definitely adapt. And with such a parasitism of a strange weed, it is no wonder that this strange grizzly can find many adventures with pure energy. At this time, it was the interference of this dodder which caused Su Lin, who could have killed this alien grizzly bear, to miss. The yin green light branch and the Surin wolf claw collided fiercely, and the two sides collided with each other more than 10 times. Although Surin finally cut off the branch with a pair of sharp wolf claws, the alien grizzly bear and the alien reindeer escaped. There was another earth-shattering wolf howl, and the wild wolf howl swept across the ice within 3 kilometers in an instant. The tyrannical shock wave of the howling wolf swept towards the two fleeing aliens. But after the tyrannical shock wave hit the huge body of the alien grizzly bear, it was once again dissolved by the shining green light. Only the huge reindeer king was injured by the howling of wolves. But the reindeer king is It was about to emit snow-white fluorescence, suppressing the injury, and the speed became even faster. Started to run fast and run away. Originally, today's battle was beyond the expectations of all hunters, especially the reindeer king. He just wanted to come over to see how powerful the wolves that came to seek revenge were, but he never suppressed the desire to hunt in his heart. But after making the shot, he was almost torn apart by the sharp claws of the White Wolf King. The strength of this White Wolf King is too terrifying. It thought that the two wolves it encountered in the wolf pack's territory some time ago were the Wolf King and Wolf Queen in the wolf pack, but now it seems that it knows how wrong it is. At the same time, it was also grateful in its heart that it hadn't encountered this White Wolf King that day. Otherwise it might have already died in the wolf pack's territory escape. Under the strong desire to survive, the reindeer king is full of escape. In its eyes, if it wanted to fight against the White Wolf King, it would definitely need to unite more forces. Otherwise, he and the deer under his command alone would not be enough to kill the White Wolf King. At this time, the two alien species were running frantically, without the slightest arrogance to rush to attack and kill at the beginning. Surin's strength and combat power shocked all hunters once again. Even the sense of spying that hadn't revealed his figure gradually receded. It can be seen that the combat power displayed by Su Lin in this battle has dissipated some of the small calculations in the hearts of many hunters in this area. The velvet rabbit plant was so strong that it was very terrifying. Under its interference, the two different species managed to escape. This made Su Lin look at the direction where the two alien species were fleeing with his light blue wolf eyes. He squinted slightly, revealing a dangerous expression. If Su Lin starts hunting now, it is still possible to catch up with these two alien species, but he has never done so, because although Su Lin said that he was not far from the adventure, he didn't see it after all. With these two fleeing aliens leading the way, the search is much easier, especially this reindeer king. It was not enough for Su Lin to kill it alone, and the deer that dared to defect to the territory of the wolves would also have to be killed. After seeing the two alien species fleeing, he didn't hesitate, and started to turn around, looking at the other two battlefields where they were fighting. The two battlefields are still in a stalemate. These hunters are very strong, even in the face of the siege of wolves. They still support it until now. In particular, the two alien lynx were seriously injured by Su Lin, but they still endured for so long facing the wolves under the command of their cousin. Even though the cousin, the wolf sister, and the gray and white wolf were all in battle, they still hadn't taken them down. But that's all there is to it. This made Senhen's killing intent flash in Su Lin's eyes, and then the peak speed was fully activated. The thick limbs stepped on the ice and snow ground, stepping out deep snow pits. Su Lin's huge wolf body jumped up, and ran directly towards the two alien lynxes. Roar! With the sonic boom brought by Su Lin moving at full speed, the two alien lynxes both smelled the strong death breath approaching, and couldn't help but roared for the last time. Their roars became very hoarse, far from the sharp and clear at the beginning, and it sounded like a dead end. Under the cold and icy world, all hunters must be prepared for hunting failure and death. It's just that under the strong desire to survive, the two alien lynxes wanted to carry out the final desperate resistance. But everything is in vain. After being seriously injured by Surin and consumed by the wolves for so long, their vitality and physical strength were almost exhausted. Su Lin's speed of more than 300 meters per second is not something they can react to now. Pull! The sharp wolf claws, more than 30 centimeters long, pierced into the chest of the male xenomorph lynx again like the sharpest blade. This time there was no deviation in the position, straight to the heart. Before the male lynx could react, Su Lin took out the heart of the male lynx, that exuded strong fluorescence. The essence of the heterogeneous lynx is the heart. The essence part is the part where most of the essence in the heterogeneous body is concentrated. The pain after being pulled out so directly and bloody cannot be resisted by willpower at all. Roar! The male lynx trembled in pain, and couldn't even roar. The sharp claws that were struggling to slap Su Lin also became so limp that they couldn't even break Su Lin's hair. With a cold expression on his face, Su Lin used an evolution potion, and then swallowed the heart of the male lynx. Ding! Congratulations to the host for eating the heart of a heterogeneous lynx, level 21, and gaining 4,500 evolution points. Ding! Congratulations to the host for eating the residual talent essence of the heterogeneous lynx, and purifying a talent serum. 4,500 evolution points. It is astonishingly the same as the essence of the alien polar bear and the mysterious iceberg. 4,500 evolutionary points, even for Su Lin today, is considered a considerable amount of evolutionary value. After devouring it, Surin also gave the male lynx a happy one. Pung! The force of more than 10 tons burst out suddenly, smashing the head of the male lynx directly to a sharp ice pile. The ice piles in this cold area are often harder than steel, but under this blow, it was completely shattered into ice slag. The hard skull of the alien lynx was also broken into several cracks by this violent blow. It fell to the ground, unable to get up again, and its whole body was twitching. Qi and blood flowed out. The essence parts were swallowed into Su Lin's belly, and even the skull was shattered. Even the tenacious vitality of the alien species is powerless. Amidst the flying shattered ice, the male lynx still looked at his mate with eyes that were still alive. But within a few seconds, this look completely dissipated. The female lynx was also howling sadly under the polar night. She didn't think about attacking Surin and the wolves again, because it hurts more than the spouse. There is no energy left. It just wants to struggle to climb to the side of the mate. But Su Lin, who was stained with blood, wanted to kill that alien polar bear, so he didn't waste time here, watching the lingering life and death between them. Pung! With a sharp claw, the female lynx crawling over was completely smashed into the ice. There was no blood spilled, just the violently convulsed body of the female lynx. Then Surin's wolf claws also pierced into the heart of the female lynx, pulled out its essence, and swallowed it directly into her mouth. 2 light gray message prompts appeared in front of Su Lin's eyes. Ding! Congratulations to the host for eating the heart of a heterogeneous lynx, level 19, and gaining 3,900 evolution points. Ding! Congratulations to the host for eating the residual talent essence of the heterogeneous lynx, and purifying a talent serum. The strength of this female lynx is obviously lower than that of her mate, and only 3,900 points are given to the essence parts. But it's not too small, and there is also a talent serum. So Surin looked at the female lynx, that still had the last trace of aura, hooked up its huge body with its claws, and threw it to the side of its mate. The female lynx with the last trace of expression in her eyes, after seeing the corpse of her spouse next to her, still tried her best to cuddle with her spouse. After beheading 2 different species of Surin one after another, a pair of golden brown eyes also looked at the alien species of polar bear, who was still fighting the little lone wolf, warm bear, and little gray for the final battle. It has to be said that this heterogeneous polar bear is more resistant than the 2 heterogeneous lynxes in terms of vitality, physical strength, and defense. But no matter how this heterogeneous polar bear struggles and resists, its fate is already doomed. All. With the earth-shattering wolf howl sounding again, the wolves who were still in the bloody battle also looked back at the Wolf King. Then watching the Wolf King approaching, many wolves and bears gave way tacitly. Even the little lone wolf, who had turned on the wild wolf talent, became more courageous as he fought, and his strength had risen to a terrifying level, watched the Wolf King approaching, and stepped aside respectfully. In fact, if the wolves want to continue fighting, they should be able to take down this powerful alien polar bear. But little lone wolf was injured like this. Little Gray and Wen Xiong also suffered serious injuries, and the rest of the Bear Clan and Wolf Clan also suffered considerable injuries. So Su Lin didn't let them go shopping anymore. These are members of the Wolf Pack, and in the future they will follow him to conquer the entire North Pole, and he doesn't want to see them suffer casualties through this alien polar bear. The goal of letting the wolves practice hunting tyrannical aliens has been achieved. Then the fate of this heterogeneous polar bear should come to an end. The bloody eyes of the heterogeneous polar bear have already been torn blind by the little lone wolf again. But even if it can't be seen, its sensitive senses can still detect a very tyrannical momentum slowly approaching itself. The speed of this momentum is not fast, but with every sound of wolf claws falling on the ice, it will bring a heavier sense of oppression. The heterogeneous polar bear knew that the only one with such momentum should be the White Wolf King. It stood in place and waited. The Blood Rage talent that originally enhanced combat power has already retreated, but it still has the power to fight. Soon, the heterogeneous polar bear opened up another talent of its own, sea-level defense. Gray fluorescence shrouded its huge body, and then quickly retracted into the hair and flesh. It made his blood-stained hair glow with pale gray fluorescence. Roar! Accompanied by a muffled roar, a pair of huge bear paws smashed hard on the ice layer, smashing the ice layer out of 2 ice breaks. Then the different species of polar bear stood upright, with a huge body more than 6 meters tall. It knows that most of its physical strength has been consumed by the wolves, and its blood has been worn down to only 1/3. But even if he was on the verge of death, which hunter would give up his desire for life? All species are fighting so hard in the cold Arctic ice field, and why? Isn't it just for survival? In many cases, the desire to survive is the most powerful desire and motivation to support all species. Roar! It brought out the tragic arrogance of breaking the boat, and once again roared in the direction of that tyrannical aura. And Su Lin just stood within 100 meters away from it, and confronted this alien polar bear for a moment. During this period, Su Lin took a look at the bonus of the sea-level defensive talent. Sea-level defensive talent does not add to other values, it only increases defense. But the bonus it brings is amazing. The original 300 defense value of this heterogeneous polar bear skyrocketed to around 600 in an instant. It has almost doubled, and the hair and flesh have become harder than steel. Fortunately, the wolves were not allowed to continue the bloody battle. Otherwise, facing such a defensive alien polar bear, it would be difficult for even today's little lone wolf to cause the slightest trauma to it. It's just that this kind of defense is far from enough to face Su Lin. After a short confrontation, accompanied by a loud wolf howl, Su Lin moved at full speed, bringing bursts of sonic booms towards this alien polar bear. Within 100 meters, it appeared in front of this alien polar bear almost as if teleported. At this speed, the sensitive senses and physical instincts of the alien polar bears cannot react. Pung! Su Lin hit the huge head of the heterogeneous polar bear hard, and with one blow, the huge body of the heterogeneous polar bear staggered back more than 10 steps. The sharp wolf claws also cut bloody wounds on the flesh of the alien polar bear. Immediately afterwards, before the alien polar bear could stand still, Surin stabbed the neck of the alien polar bear again. The fragile throat was torn into pieces with wolf claws, and the blood splashed like money. The blood splashed on Surin's hair did not move him in the slightest. After being reborn as a wolf, he has long been used to such bloody slaughter. In the cold and icy world, never talk about who is right and who is wrong, only who is strong and who is weak. Whoever is stronger is king. The throat is also a very fatal vital part. After being torn apart, the polar bear can't even roar, but it is still carrying out fierce resistance and struggle. The thick bear's paw slammed towards Su Lin fiercely, but the speed was too slow, and it couldn't touch Su Lin at all. Su Lin dodged the bear's paw attack with a slight flash. The bear's paw slapped the air in vain, screaming loudly. Immediately afterwards, Surin's wolf claws moved towards the chest of the alien polar bear again. Pung! The loud and dull sound of flesh and blood colliding. This time, Surin's invincible wolf claws did not directly pierce the chest of this alien polar bear, but smashed its bones to pieces. After all, the defense talent was turned on, and its defense far surpassed that of the mysterious iceberg's polar bear. But even so, this heavy blow shattered his heart. The eyes, ears, nose, etc. of the heterogeneous polar bears are overflowing with blood from every gap. The remaining chi and blood are also being consumed rapidly, and this heavy blow made the already wobbly alien polar bear finally fall down. Boom! The huge body of a full 6 to 7 meters fell to the ground like a golden mountain and a jade pillar. While the shattered ice was flying, this alien polar bear was still struggling to stand up. But Su Lin gave a sharp claw, and directly smashed its huge bear head deep into the ice and snow ground. Then he stomped on the polar bear's head. The fangs completely exposed the large piece of flesh and blood that had been torn off from its back. After killing that alien polar bear last time, Su Lin left in a hurry before eating its flesh and blood up. But now this alien polar bear is no weaker than that one. It can be regarded as a lost one. Tear! A large piece of flesh and blood was still stained with blood, which was swallowed by Su Lin. Fat and delicious, purely in terms of meat quality. The flesh and blood of a different species of polar bear is considered superior. The energy contained in it is also very pure. After swallowing this flesh and blood into his stomach, a light gray message prompting him to gain evolutionary value appeared before his eyes. Ding! The host eats a heterogeneous polar bear and gains 210 evolutionary points. I have just used an evolution potion, and the effect of the triple increase is still there, and I have obtained 210 evolution points in one bite. Except for the king squid. This is the most evolutionary value obtained by a single piece of flesh and blood. It is indeed the flesh and blood of a different species of polar bear. The different species of flesh and blood will be reduced by 3 points each time, which also means that this heterogeneous polar bear can at least provide Su Lin with tens of thousands of evolutionary points. This expensive evolutionary value made Surin start to eat. Large pieces of different species of polar bear flesh were swallowed by Su Lin into his stomach. Ding! The host eats a heterogeneous polar bear and gains 207 evolutionary points. Ding! The host eats a different species of polar bear and gains 200 for evolutionary points. Ding! The host eats a heterogeneous polar bear and gains 201 evolutionary points. While Su Lin was eating, the alien polar bear was still struggling desperately in pain, but he couldn't break free from the shackles of the wolf's claws. After Su Lin ate at least 30 to 40 catties of different species of flesh and blood, he also directly picked the bile, which is the essence of the different species of polar bear, and swallowed it into his stomach. Ding! Congratulations to the host for eating the bile of a polar bear, level 22, and gaining 5,100 evolutionary points. Ding! Congratulations to the host for consuming the residual talent essence of a heterogeneous polar bear, and purifying a talent serum. This alien polar bear is stronger than the polar bear in the mysterious iceberg. Level 22 alien species, even after the great change of the world, can be regarded as the overlord of the previous party, but today, the ice field is still bloody, and it has become the blood food of Surin and the wolves. After the essence parts were removed, the remaining vitality of this heterogeneous polar bear finally dissipated. In the end, in the severe pain, it just let out a few indistinct growls, and then gradually fell silent. In addition, after the death of the heterogeneous polar bear, several light gray message reminders appeared soon. Showdown of talent. Precise dodge. Fight in blood. Combat rating. S. Rating for this battle. S. Obtained an enhanced serum, and 2 blood-burning potions. This time the battle rating reached S. Since Su Lin became stronger and stronger, it has been a long time since he received a combat rating reward. There are not many combat rating rewards given by the score S, and there is an enhanced serum. This is not bad for increasing one's own combat power, and it is a good reward. As for the blood-burning potion, it is the first time to get it. What is the effect of this potion? With a thought in Su Lin's mind, the introduction of the blood-burning potion soon appeared in front of him. Blood-burning potion. After taking it, you can burn your own blood, and gain a substantial increase in strength. The faster you burn your blood, the stronger your strength bonus will be. Note: this drug should be used with caution in non-emergency situations. After use, the chi and blood value will reach the critical line of 10%, and it will be withdrawn automatically. Looking at this potion, Su Lin's wolf eyes flashed brightly. The effect of this potion is terrifying, and it can greatly increase one's own combat power. If it is superimposed with the hunting talent, one can imagine how terrifying the tyrannical power it brings will be. But the disadvantage is also very big. It is burning blood. Vitality and blood may be just a number on the property panel in Su Lin's eyes, but in reality it is the life value of one species after another. So to put it simply, this is a potion that burns life to obtain a huge increase in strength. This kind of thing is equivalent to killing 1,000 enemies and losing 800. However, for Su Lin, who has the healing talent and strengthened heart, it can be regarded as an extra trump card. So far, the battle has paid off. 3 talent serums, 1 enhanced serum, 2 blood-staining potions, and tens of thousands of evolution points. In addition, there are 3 corpses of different species. The flesh and blood of this heterogeneous polar bear alone weighs several tons. After the great changes in the world, the preciousness of different kinds of flesh and blood is second only to exotic flowers and plants. So there are so many different kinds of flesh and blood. Whether it is Surin or the wolf pack, they can get a lot of improvement. In particular, heterogeneous flesh and blood can improve the ordinary wolf clan even more, which can further improve the overall strength of the wolf pack. Next, Surin let out a low howl to signal the wolves to clean up the battlefield. Then he came directly to the pair of polar bear mother and child who were not dead yet. The wolves hunted just now, mainly using them as restraints, and did not kill them directly. But the pair of polar bear mother and son were also covered in scars. Adult female polar bears can still live with these scars. As for the cubs, there was no way they could survive, especially looking at the fear of resentment in this cub's black eyes. Su Lin waved his wolf claws indifferently, and smashed the cub into a ball of meat. Without even wailing, the cub left this world forever. This scene made the female polar bear, who is a mother, go crazy in an instant. But when it was about to struggle to get up, it saw the emotionless eyes of the huge white wolf in front of it. The pair of eyes just stared at it quietly, cold and calm, but the sense of oppression contained in it made it feel like every cell in its body was screaming crazily towards it. It began to tremble unconsciously, and the pain and anger when the cub was killed just now disappeared under the strong pressure and desire to survive. In the end, it didn't dare to move at all, but just buried its head in its 4 legs and shivered. Seeing this scene, Su Lin looked away. At any rate, it is a female polar bear, and now her spouse and cubs have been killed. In the future, joining the wolf pack can also become a member of the bear family to reproduce. When the female species gives birth to new cubs after the next estrus period, the sense of belonging to the wolf pack will naturally be greatly improved. Wolves can't just kill and crusade. If they don't develop and reproduce, sooner or later they will be killed one by one until they finally wither. At this time, after Su Lin shot the cub to death, he looked at the little lone wolf, who was the most injured, and howled in a low voice to signal his cousin to come and treat the little lone wolf first. With the healing talent of the cousin, can make the injuries of little lone wolf, Little Gray, and Wengsong recover faster. In the future, the cousin's talent will be promoted again. Presumably, the cooling time will be shorter, and the members who can be healed will be more. Therefore, the cousin's healing talent is extremely good to be used as a logistical support for the wolves in the future. The cousin's healing talent is a green light, and as it howls softly, this green light pours into the wolf's body of the little lone wolf. This green light is quickly nourishing and recovering the wounds on little lone wolf's body. In fact, this hunting of wolves against different species of polar bears is mainly centered on the little lone wolf. Therefore, it has the most frequent fights with heterogeneous polar bears, and is also the most seriously injured. If he didn't have the sky-defying mad wolf talent, he wouldn't be able to survive at all. Under the comfortable green fluorescent light, the little lone wolf howled in gratitude. It could feel that its injury was recovering rapidly, and Su Lin just glanced at the little lone wolf, who was being healed, then went to a messy battlefield, picked up the branch of the weed dodder that he had cut off, and swallowed it into his mouth. Cuscuta is also considered a rare herb, so it can naturally obtain a lot of evolutionary value. It's just that the dodder is eaten into the mouth. Su Lin chewed it twice, only to feel that the taste was very bitter, not at all delicious as the flesh and blood of other species. However, the tyrannical devouring power quickly turned away, turning the dodder branch into a huge energy that poured into the limbs and bones of Surin Wolf. Ding! Congratulations to the host for eating Cuscuta and gaining 9,000 evolutionary points. This pale gray message made Su Lin's eyes light up. The evolution value given by a branch of this dodder is more than imagined. This made Su Lin even more determined to kill that alien grizzly bear. After devouring the dodder branch, Su Lin raised his head and scanned the current ice field full of blood and mess. Immediately afterwards, he raised his head and looked at the fleeing direction of the reindeer king and the alien grizzly. Su Lin stood on the snow slope. His wolf eyes were full of coldness. Since there are these two alien species leading the way, then the adventure of Surin, in the cold northern part, is here. Su Lin wants the lives of these two different species. At this time, when Su Lin climbed up and looked into the distance, the wolves also cleaned up the battlefield. There were not many casualties among the wolves during the hunting of the alien species. The two alien lynxes were seriously injured by Su Lin, and their damage was limited. As for the heterogeneous polar bears, there was a little lone wolf who was positively restraining them, so the entire pack of wolves lost several wolves and one bear. But for ordinary wolves and bears, hunting aliens is very dangerous, so casualties are normal. As for the injured, there are more, but with the healing talent of the cousin, the injured members will be well recovered. Killing 3 alien species in a row in this battle is equivalent to a big victory for the wolves. There are a total of 3 corpses of different species, and the corpses of 2 different species of lynx together weigh about 1 ton. As for this heterogeneous polar bear, it weighs about 4 to 5 tons. Su Lin took out some of these alien flesh and blood to distribute to the fighting wolves. The passion and motivation of wolves to fight often need food to support them, and food is more important than anything in their eyes. Almost all the wolves participated in the hunt this time. The elite wolf clan led by Xiao Hui distributed 10 caddies of different species of flesh and blood to each wolf clan, and the bear clan led by Xiao Bai distributed 10 caddies of different species of flesh and blood to each bear clan. For the male wolves under Little Lone Wolf's command, 5 caddies were distributed to each male wolf. For the female wolves under the cousin's command, each female wolf will be distributed 3 caddies. As for the wolves who fight bravely, they will be given more points, which can be regarded as internal motivation among the wolves. Different species of flesh and blood are very rare. The original wolf and bear tribes of the wolf pack have already devoured different species of flesh and blood, so they naturally know how delicious it is and the surging energy contained in it. After Su Lin ordered the distribution, many members shouted excitedly. As for the newly joined bear clan, facing the allotted alien flesh and smelling its delicious and attractive smell, the saliva also flowed down unconsciously. When they really ate these different kinds of flesh and blood, they couldn't help swallowing the deliciousness from the taste buds, and the pure and surging energy in it. The sense of belonging to the wolf pack has also improved a lot during eating. After all, as a beast that survives in the ice and snow, its thinking is not complicated. Whether it's fighting and hunting, or defending territory, it's all about survival. Now, following the arrogance of the wolves, needless to say in terms of safety, There are also different kinds of flesh and blood as food, which makes them forget that they were forced to join in the first place. Even if they were allowed to leave at this time, none of the bears would leave. At this time, Su Lin looked at the pack of wolves that were distributing and devouring the flesh and blood of different species in the ice and snow, and there was a little bit of relief in his golden-brown wolf eyes. After distributing these different kinds of flesh and blood this time, the strength of the wolves should be improved a lot, Su Lin thought while watching the wolves. Next, after the wolves finished eating, Su Lin also told the little lone wolf to take a few wolves to follow the scent of the reindeer king and the different species of grizzly bears to find the location of the land of adventure. After the little lone wolf was treated by his cousin's talent, his injuries were originally horrific, although he has not fully recovered, but it also recovered more than half of it, and at least 80% of its combat power was recovered. With it leading the team to explore, Su Lin can feel at ease. After all, the rest of the wolf clan is still too weak compared to the strength of the little lone wolf. The little lone wolf howled repeatedly and agreed. It has always obeyed the orders of its boss. After all, it will always remember that day in the dark night. If the boss hadn't picked it up from the ice and snow, it probably wouldn't have known which hunter it had entered. His current position among the wolves was given by his boss. This makes it have the highest sense of belonging to the wolf pack, and the trust and respect for its boss, which is the highest among the wolves. After taking the order, the little lone wolf set off with Fan Lang, and the other male wolves with a low howl. As for the broken ear, let it lead a group of wolves, and guard the wolves on the outside to prevent other hunters from attacking. After the little lone wolf set off, Su Lin also signaled the wolves to find a leeward place to rest for a while. Hundreds of wolves and more than 20 bears have exhausted a lot of energy in today's hunting. If you forcibly lead the pack of wolves to surprise that land of adventures, you may encounter some opponents and challenges. With the current state of the wolves, it is difficult to support another tragic battle. You must know that there are still hundreds of reindeer, under the command of the reindeer king, who have not shown up, and there will be a fierce team battle in the future. At this time, after receiving the order from the Wolf King, many wolves and bears hid in twos and threes to shelter from the wind, and ate the allocated alien flesh while getting together to keep warm. The amount of heterogeneous flesh and blood that Surin distributed to the members of the wolf pack was not small. These wolf pack members don't have 3 or 4 days to digest the pure energy and nutrition. Surin allocated more than 1,000 caddies of these different kinds of flesh and blood, which was almost the same as the different kinds of flesh and blood distributed to the wolves some time ago. Su Lin looked at the wolves under his command, and after digesting these heterogeneous flesh and blood, it is unknown whether there will be 1 or 2 more heterogeneous in the wolf pack. The alien species will be the main force of the wolf pack in the future. The more alien species there are, the stronger the wolf pack will be. At this time, with such thoughts in mind, he came to a leeward ice wall, and began to take a short rest. Cousin, Little Hui, Wolf Sister, Gray Little Wolf, etc., members of the wolf pack, who are closest to Su Lin, all consciously lay down around the Wolf King, guarding the Wolf King, and also shielding the Wolf King from the cold wind. As for Su Lin, with a thought, he took out the talent serum harvested today. I plan to use these talent serums. Let's see which talent can be strengthened this time, regardless of whether it is a foreign species or Surin. The bonus of talent to strength is very significant. Only the heterogeneous with talent, after today's great changes, have the most basic foothold capital. Every level of talent will bring a powerful increase in combat power. There are currently 3 talent serums, and Su Lin thinks that 1 hunting talent should be strengthened. The hunting talent is undoubtedly the talent with the strongest increase, not one of them. Su Lin has also encountered so many alien species, and has never seen any alien species whose talent can exceed the increase in hunting, even if it is a very heaven-defying wolf talent. The bonus to the peak is still inferior to the hunting talent of the same level. After all, even if the more injured, the stronger. But there is always a limit to injury. When this limit is really broken, not only the mad wolf's talent will be broken, but even his life may be in danger. And hunting is a talent that directly increases strength, without any side effects. Sea-level hunting alone can increase attack power and speed by 100%, which is crushing level for other talents of different species. Su Lin really wanted to see how much B-level hunting talent, or a level hunting talent would increase his strength. In this thought, he took out the talent serum with a thought. Ding! Is the talent serum used? Use? Su Lin didn't hesitate at all. Talent serum is different from strengthening serum. There is no slight discomfort after using it. On the contrary, it is the warm current that makes people very comfortable, and this warm current surges through his entire pack of wolves, limbs and bones. bones and tendons. This talent serum is not like last time. It lasts for a long time. This time it is absorbed quickly. Ding! The wolf roar talent has been strengthened successfully, and it has been promoted to a C-level talent. This pale gray message appeared in front of my eyes. Wolf howling talent. Seeing this pale gray reminder, Su Lin felt a little regretful in his heart. The talent of howling wolves is only good at range killing, but if it is against a single powerful alien species, it is not very effective. Just like the battle against the male lynx, the alien grizzly bear and the alien reindeer king this time, the wolf roar talent can also cause damage to them, but the damage is limited. It can only be used as an auxiliary means of killing a single powerful alien species against the enemy. But after this enhancement, the talent of howling wolf should become much stronger. In this kind of thinking, within a few seconds, the introduction of the C-level wolf roar talent appeared in front of him. Wolf roar, C-level, upgradable, active talent. It can launch a wolf howling sound wave attack. The attack speed is double the speed of sound, and the killing range is 5 kilometers. Number of attacks, 10 times. Cooldown, 24 hours. Note, after more than 10 times, it will enter the cooling time. During this time, if you use the talent of howling wolf forcibly, a large amount of vitality will be deducted. The C-level wolf howling talent has indeed been enhanced a lot, but it didn't increase the power, it just increased the damage range and the speed of the sonic attack, which will also make the wolf howl talent attack faster. Seeing this, Su Lin nodded secretly. In this way, at double the speed of sound, it will be too late for most species to react. Even his own speed after turning on his hunting talent is no more than that. Immediately afterwards, Su Lin didn't pause for too long, and took out another talent serum in one go. Ding! Is the talent serum used? Use? Su Lin used a talent serum again, and when the warm current of the talent serum flooded his body, he only felt that it would be better not to strengthen the talent of howling wolf this time. Hunting and healing talents are the biggest capital he really has. And at this time, the alliances of major forces also started their summit meeting again. This time, since the various natural disasters have passed, the leaders of the major forces have not held video conferences again. Instead, they gathered again in the magnificent palace. Numerous elites and many powerful figures descended one by one in the palace. They quietly watched the content on the huge LCD monitor on the high platform, without saying a word or making any sound. But there was a trace of solemnity in everyone's eyes. The contents on these LCD video cameras are all pictures of various forces besieging and suppressing alien species, and there are also records and guessed combat power values of various alien species. Looking at the terrifying pictures and the numerical values beyond cognition, I feel worried about the future and destiny of human beings. Soon, as the picture changes one by one, a heavyweight old man of the Alliance slowly walked up to the stage. He said in a deep voice, "This time everyone came here to discuss the future of human beings. In the last meeting, in order to deal with natural disasters, we established a human alliance, built dozens of human fortresses, and survived the terrible natural disasters. I think everyone has to come up with a decision today. In the future, against mutant creatures such as strange beasts, strange flowers, and giant trees, should we fight or make peace?" After the old man's voice fell to the ground, a powerful person in power stood up and spoke. The person in power is one of the most powerful figures in the African Union. He stood up and said bluntly, "Our last video conference has agreed to wipe out mutant creatures and defend the status of human beings. This is our overall policy. We cannot change. Due to the African Union's recent massacre in the African savannah, captured hundreds of alien species, and directly killed at least hundreds of mutant creatures, which made the prestige of the African Union grow day by day among the major forces. The African Union has obtained the greatest sweetness from the flesh and blood of mutated creatures. By devouring the flesh and blood of different species, many great figures have unlocked the genetic shackles and become new humans. Not only all diseases are eliminated, but even the life expectancy has increased a lot with the improvement of physical fitness. This is also the reason why the African Union is determined to hunt and kill mutant creatures. In their eyes, these mutated creatures are not only the #1 enemy, but also the rare ingredients in panacea scent. At present, apart from the invincible lion group, and 2 groups of African hyenas in the African grasslands, there are no decent mutant creatures. Therefore, the African Union is a staunch supporter of the policy of eliminating mutant creatures. But soon, figures from other powerful forces stood up and retorted, "HMPH, that is a mutant creature that has never appeared on your side. If the bloodthirsty python is on your side, I don't think you will say something like that." Yes, Who can resist that terrifying crocodile? All the warships passing through the shallow waters were sunk. The most important thing is that the rapid golden wither is simply not something that current technological forces can compete with. At the Alliance meeting, the power holders of many big forces started a heated discussion. After a full 3 hours, the final decision was made. The content of the decision-making has agreed on 4 items. First, for the bloodthirsty python, the speedy golden wither, the terrifying crocodile, the giant human skin tree, and other terrifying mutant creatures, delineate the scope of the dangerous area, and currently coexist with it by default, but find out its weaknesses and flaws as much as possible, so that prepare for future battles. Second, the major forces establish an information exchange center to exchange detailed information and weaknesses of each mutated creature, and carry out more cruel and bloody suppression against these mutated creatures, trying to erase them from the earth. Third, start to establish a unified new human academy, teach and train new human beings, who have unlocked the shackles, grow at a faster speed, and at the same time let the Science Alliance research weapons and armor that are more suitable for them. Fourth, start targeted exploration of red areas without signals, such as the Antarctic, the Arctic, and tropical rainforests, and try to find out all the mutant creatures in the world within the next year. Once these 4 decisions are made, it will also mean that humans and mutated creatures will have more intense collisions. The Earth has been burned red by the flames of war. In the battle between humans and mutant creatures, an unknown number of lives are withering and dying. When the 4 decisions are actually agreed upon, everyone knows that the world may be more turbulent in the future. In this gamble, human beings are not only betting on the lives of thousands of elite soldiers, but also the status of global hegemony. Once defeated, human beings are likely to be doomed forever. In addition, after this meeting, the big figures at the top of the power of all parties have returned, and they all summoned their respective areas to start the establishment of a new human academy. The Science Alliance is also researching technological killers suitable for new humans day and night, and all humans are making sufficient preparations to wipe out the alien beasts. And in their respective systems, they have established a new human powerhouse ranking index list, and the powerhouses on the list will have rights and prestige beyond ordinary humans. This made the new humans of all major forces more enthusiastic about the rise of their strength. As for the exploration of the North Pole, Antarctica, tropical rainforest and other places, where there is no signal, all parties are still somewhat hesitant. After all, with the godlike bonus of satellite signals, the struggle between humans and powerful mutant creatures has fallen into a bloody battle. If there is no bonus of God's perspective, in a near unknown area, no one knows what will be encountered, especially without satellite signals. Many high-tech lethal weapons that rely on satellites, drone swarms, automated tracking missiles, etc. will lose their use. In this kind of worry, the forces of all parties just decided to send out a small part of their forces to explore, so that even if the entire army is wiped out, it will not be hurt. And at this time, Su Lin in the icy forest also completely used up his talent serum. Of the remaining 2 talent serums, one of them strengthened the wolf howling talent again, making the wolf howling talent reach B level. The B level wolf howling talent is much better than the C level talent. Wolf roar, B level, upgradable, active talent. It can launch a wolf howling sound wave attack. The attack speed is 3 times the speed of sound, the killing range is 10 kilometers, and the killing power is 1/3 of the host's peak attack power value. Number of attacks, 10 times. Cooldown, 24 hours. Note, after more than 10 times, it will enter the cooling time. During this time, if you use the talent of Howling Wolf forcibly, a large amount of vitality will be deducted. The B-level Wolf Howling talent not only increases the attack speed and attack range again, but also has a very significant increase in attack power. Even if the hunting talent is not turned on, 1/3 of Surin's peak attack power has more than 200 power points, which is equivalent to several tons of explosive power. Not to mention polar bears with such explosive power. Even the strongest African elephants would have their hearts and organs shattered with a single howl. And if the hunting talent is turned on, the power of Surin's wolf roar will approach 500 points of attack power, which is enough to crack gold and stone. Next time, if they encounter a different kind of grizzly bear and a different kind of reindeer king, they will not be as easy as they are today if they want to resist the power of their wolf howls. In addition to strengthening the wolf roar talent again, another talent serum strengthens the healing talent. A level healing talent enhancement progress is 1/5. After the progress value is completed, it will be promoted to S level healing talent. 1/5. Su Lin looked at the light gray message in front of him. can be seen that the difficulty of talent enhancement from A level to S level seems to have increased a lot, which is not something that a single talent serum can do. But it's clear, when you think about it carefully. After all, the alien king squid encountered in the deep sea, with such invincible strength, has never evolved an S-level talent, so one can imagine the difficulty of an S-level talent. But at the same time, the greater the difficulty, the greater the power of the S-level talent. Today's healing talent has already reached 500 times the recovery speed, and the consumption of physical strength can also make the healing talent faster. So once it evolves into an S-level talent, it's hard for Su Lin to imagine how far it will reach. At that time, his ability to survive may reach a very terrifying level. So far, Surin has used 3 talent serums. The continuous advancement of the wolf howling talent will make his attacks even more difficult to defend against. Next, surrounded by a pack of wolves, Su Lin also took out the remaining enhanced serum. The increase in strength brought by the enhanced serum is also considerable. After being strengthened by many strengthening serums, the wolf body contains a torrential power that is far from being comparable to that of other species. At present, many parts of the Surin wolf's body have been strengthened. All that remains are the wolf's head, flesh, bones, wolf's tail, the remaining 3 wolf claws, and some internal organs. These parts, no matter which one is strengthened, will bring a lot of improvement. He has already experienced the burning pain of strengthening the serum many times. Ding! Do you want to use the enhanced serum? Use? At this moment, Su Lin didn't hesitate at all. Soon the familiar scalding energy in the body wandered through the limbs and bones of the wolves again. This hot energy has been swimming in the wolf body for a long time, and the scorching pain brought by it, Su Lin has already. I got used to it, and didn't care. But soon as this hot energy poured into the deadliest wolf's head, he felt the pain intensified several times. The pain caused Su Lin to let out a long howl, and the huge wolf howl also made the whole wolf pack enter a state of combat readiness. All the wolves stood up suddenly, and looked at the Wolf King. And Su Lin was just in the middle of the wolves, resisting the extreme pain, and didn't give any instructions. This made many members of the wolf group a little unclear, but they were still loyal guards by the Wolf King's side. Many wolves gave up their short rest, and came to the outermost part of the wolves to assist fan wolves, and started their vigilance mission. But at this time, Su Lin's facial features were a little distorted under the extreme pain, and he looked hideous and terrifying. The closest wolves such as Xiao Wei, cousin, and wolf sister can only watch anxiously around, but they don't know what happened to Su Lin. Wolf head, brain. This is the deadliest part, and it is also the important part that Su Lin wants to strengthen the most. Unexpectedly, the brain will be strengthened this time. Su Lin knew that once the strengthening was successful, the astonishing bonus it would bring would far surpass any part. But the pain in this strengthening is also so intense that it is almost suffocating. Even Su Lin, who has experienced rebirth from destruction, still feels every cell in his body trembling in the face of such pain. The nerves in the brain are extremely sensitive, amplifying the scorching pain to the limit. This extreme pain made Su Lin's consciousness hallucinate. The feeling of wanting to live and die filled the whole nerve and brain. In this kind of pain, the nerves, cells, and brain marrow of the brain are all undergoing earth-shaking changes under this hot energy. Su Lin's wolf head also exuded a faint light. Even Su Lin's facial features and nerve connections were covered by this shining light. The strengthening time this time is longer than the last time strengthening the heart. Even after more than 2 hours, this hot energy is still flowing slowly in the brain. In this pain, Su Lin endured for about 4 or 5 hours. This hot energy was gradually absorbed. The faint fluorescent light covering the whole body also slowly retracted into the wolf's head. After the fluorescence completely disappeared, Su Lin's golden brown eyes gradually regained some clarity. The pain just now overwhelmed his consciousness, and after recovering, he showed a look of the rest of his life. But the improvement brought about by severe pain is also very huge. In addition to feeling that his overall strength has improved a lot, Su Lin can also feel a faint spiritual power in his brain. This spiritual force made Su Lin, who didn't know the language of the bear tribe, be able to sense the meaning of Xiaobai and Wengsong through the emotional fluctuations around him. In addition, with the addition of this mental power, Surin can even sense every breath and blood flow in the huge wolf body. He can control any part of the wolf's body almost perfectly, even if he doesn't need to hide his talent. Su Lin can restrain his aura to the extreme. If it is in battle, it will bring out its peak combat power to the fullest. Hey! Mental power. This caused a gleam of light to flash in Su Lin's golden brown wolf eyes. Sure enough, the improvement in hidden combat power brought about by strengthening the brain this time is the biggest. The birth of spiritual power definitely had a magical effect that he hadn't noticed. Call. At this moment, Su Lin, who had endured the extreme pain for several hours, let out a long breath. Even though the area was extremely cold, his hair was wet with sweat after experiencing pain for several hours. Soon after Su Lin recovered from the pain, the latest attribute panel also appeared in front of him. Name, Surin. Species, Arctic wolf. Gene level, I. Level 15. Upgrading requires 320,000 evolution points. Vitality, 5,500. Stamina, 490. Strength, 520. Defense, 500. Speed, 770. Evolution value, 53,750. Talents, Hunting, Level C. Howling of Wolves, Level B. Concealment, Level B. Healing, Level A+. Looking at the detailed latest attributes in front of him, Su Lin immediately felt that the pain just now was worth it. Since the brain is the command center of the entire wolf body, and the nerves are connected to various organs and limbs, the overall strength will be improved after strengthening, which Surin expected. But the magnitude of the increase is still beyond Su Lin's imagination. The blood value skyrocketed to 5,500 points. This means that Su Lin's current chi and blood value is no less than that of the 20-something bear race. In addition to blood value, all aspects of attributes have also been greatly enhanced. The base strength value has been increased to 520, which means that using the strengthened right claw, the strength value will directly approach the point of 800 points. With such a strength value, a full blow will reach a terrifying force of nearly 20 tons. The speed has soared to 770 points, which means that the hunting talent is not activated. Surin, the speed will reach more than 345 meters per second. Today Su Lin mobilized his whole body strength to faintly reach the speed of sound, but breaking through the speed of sound will become his normal speed in the future. As for stamina and defense, they all reached around 500. Such numerical stamina and defense are also extremely rare among all the alien species in the North Pole. Su Lin's current strength has reached a very terrifying level. Even the most advanced technological killer of human beings has already lost its deterrent effect on him. With such a substantial increase in strength, Su Lin only felt his heart beating. He stood up and looked at the concerned gazes of his cousins, little Greys, wolf sisters, etc., and just let out a low howl to indicate that he was fine, and also signaled the wolves with hundreds of wolves and more than 20 bears to release their combat readiness. Let them continue to rest under the huge leeward ice wall. And many members of the wolf pack looked at the Wolf King, who had returned to normal, and his aura had become stronger, with fanaticism and respect in their eyes. As for the worries just now, they all disappeared. In many cases, a pack of wolves with a Wolf King is a pack of wolves, with vigor and soul. After Su Lin swept around the members of the wolf pack, he came to the dead polar bear again. The flesh and blood of the heterogeneous polar bear can also provide him with a lot of evolutionary value. Due to the consumption of too much physical strength and energy just now strengthening the brain, Su Lin bit off a large piece of flesh and blood again, and began to eat. Soon 20 or 30 caddies of different species of flesh and blood were swallowed into the stomach, and these different species of flesh and blood turned into billowing energy, nourishing the huge physical strength that Su Lin had consumed. 20 or 30 caddies of different species of flesh and blood also provided him with thousands of evolutionary points again. After eating, I went back to my cousin, wolf sister, and Xiaohui, and took a short rest under the guard of the wolves. In the icy and snowy world, Su Lin's powerful senses kept 2 or 3 points of vigilance at all times. The wind and grass of tens of kilometers are all within the envelope of his powerful senses. During the short rest of the wolves, time also passed quietly. Time passed quickly, and days passed in the blink of an eye. Under the dark night in the past, not to mention this even colder northern region, even Su Lin's territory would fall into a scene of solitude. However, due to the sudden appearance of the wolves led by Su Lin in this cold forest area, the place became lively for a while. Many powerful hunters frequented them. In the pair of fierce eyes, looking at the huge Su Lin and the mighty wolves under his command, there was a flash of uneasiness. After the little lone wolf came back a few days ago, he also explored the land of adventure. It was an area where dense aquatic plants grew from under the ice layer, and there were many fruits that grew out of it. These fruits are rich in extremely pure energy, and many powerful alien species in this area completed their initial evolution by relying on these aquatic plants and fruits. However, many hunters in the land of adventures have a natural resistance to external forces, but currently no hunter dares to jump out to stop the wolves, because the bloody scene of 2 alien lynxes and alien polar bears being eaten alive a few days ago was still fresh in the memory of the hunters who watched that day. Now, The monstrous flames gathered by hundreds of wolves and more than 20 bears in the wolf pack, and the invincible aura rising from the White Wolf King silenced all the hunters in this area. During these days, the little lone wolf also found out the details of the other hunters in this land of adventure. Not counting the dead lynx couple, there are still several powerful alien species in the place of adventure. Xenogenic grizzlies with a powerful daughter parasitism, with the reindeer king leading the herd. After these days of searching by the little lone wolf, he also found that the reindeer king's deer herd was not just 100, but more than 200. It could be seen that this herd was not just the one in Surin's territory. There are also scattered birds of different species. Among them are snow owls with super perceptual powers, peregrine falcons that come and go without a trace, and ancient Arctic terns, etc. These alien birds are also very fierce, and they also have the advantage of the sky. They can be regarded as a group of powerful forces in this land of adventure. There is also a herd of muskoxen in this land of adventures, and even the few muskoxen that escaped from the Surin territory entered this muskox herd. It's just that the leader of the muskox has been hiding in the depths of the land of adventures, and the little lone wolf has not found out how powerful he is. In addition, there are several Arctic silver foxes with a body size of more than 3 meters. These Arctic silver foxes do not show their strength, they live in a simple way, but it occupies the area with the most fruits in the land of adventures. Su Lin once heard about the Arctic silver fox from the mouth of the werewolf outside the mysterious iceberg. It can be seen that the Arctic fox, which has always been weak in his eyes, has definitely evolved a very powerful ability, after evolving into a different species. Otherwise it would not occupy a place in both the mysterious iceberg and this land of adventure. At this time, Su Lin had already led the pack of wolves and was stationed not far from this land of adventure. He looked towards the land of adventures, on a high snow slope, and there was endless coldness in his golden-brown wolf eyes. This land of adventure can give birth to so many different species, which shows its extraordinary level. So this piece of adventure, with wolves is all it takes. This time when entering the land of adventures, the first thing to do is to take the deer herd. Only by killing the blood-stained land of adventure can these powerful aliens understand the truth. That is, those who stand in front of the wolves must die. In the past few days, the wolves under Su Lin's command had completely digested the alien flesh and blood that had been distributed, and their strength had once again improved considerably. At present, the arrogance of the wolves has reached a higher level, and the monstrous arrogance rushed straight into the cold night sky. Many wolves are watching the lush aquatic plants, and the passing reindeer and musk ox from the outside. Their wolf eyes show the desire to hunt and kill. After the wolves devoured the flesh and blood of the alien species again, each of the bear tribe and the wolf tribe awakened a alien species. This time the wolf clan awakened a female wolf, under the command of my cousin, after devouring the flesh and blood of a different species last time. This female wolf broke through to level 6 attributes, and now it has evolved into a different species. Although the female wolves at the peak of level 6 are not as powerful as Fan Lang and Connor, they can still be considered as helping the cousin to share the pressure of managing the wolves. It was beyond Su Lin's expectation that the bear clan broke through and became a different species, because the one who broke through to become a different species in the bear clan was the female polar bear, whose spouse and cubs were killed by Su Lin that day. This female polar bear originally had a level 15 attribute, and after becoming a different species, it reached the peak of level 15. The talent is the talent Blood Rage, common to most bear tribes. The talent of Blood Rage is not too bad, and the strength of the improvement is limited, so it can be regarded as a quite satisfactory talent. However, the female polar bear with the talent of Blood Rage still became the most powerful existence in the wolf pack, second only to Su Lin. Even the current little lone wolf at the end of level 13 can barely suppress this female polar bear until the end of the wild wolf talent. If it is a pack of wolves hunting, you need at least 30 or 40 wolves, and the little lone wolf to cooperate to gain the upper hand. The IQ of this female polar bear, who has evolved into a different species, has also improved a lot. Feeling the surge of power in its body, not only did it not get carried away, but it made the most sincere surrender to Su Lin. Because of the evolution into a different species of female polar bear, the senses have become more acute. Therefore, he could feel the dangerous aura from Su Lin's huge wolf body even more. This extremely dangerous aura made the female polar bear understand that as long as she moved slightly, she would be torn apart in an instant. As for the pain of the dead spouse and cubs, it has faded a lot during these days of eating. Food is the top priority in the eyes of any hunter. It is also because the wolves give it food that it gains great strength. So this female polar bear prostrated on the ground to express her loyalty to the Wolf King, and she didn't have the slightest ambiguity. In the future, we will not only be prepared to charge for the wolves, but also be prepared to multiply and thrive with the bears and the wolves. Roar! A soft howl sounded in front of the Wolf King, and Xiao Bai. Xiao Bai was in charge of the bear clan, but he just stood aside silently, and didn't say anything, because only the Wolf King is qualified to decide the life of this female polar bear. And Su Lin's newly born mental power also sensed the mental fluctuations of the female polar bear. Su Lin accepted his offer of submission. After all, it is about to enter the land of adventures, and there will be fewer wolves by then. Not to fight repeatedly, this heterogeneous female polar bear depends on its performance. If he truly surrenders, he can be promoted to Xiao Bei's deputy at that time. But if the positive is obeying the negative, then this huge body of heterogeneous flesh and blood will also become the ration of the wolves. After accepting the female polar bear's pledge of allegiance, Su Lin stood on the snow slope again and examined the pack of wolves. Half of the female wolves in the wolf pack have broken through to level 5, and many female wolves have even reached the peak of level 5. The male wolf already has many wolf clans, all of which have broken through to level 6, and even reached the middle and late level of level 6. In the past packs of wolves, the 6th level wolf clan has already reached the qualifications to be the head wolf. It can be seen from this that the strength of all wolf clans in the wolf pack has undergone earth-shaking changes compared to before. As for the elite wolf clan led by Xiao Hui, most of them have reached the peak level 6, and a few have broken through to level 7. The pack of wolves gathered by such powerful wolves is definitely a powerful pack of wolves that has never appeared in the Arctic ice field before. All following Su Lin's summoning on the snow slope, the howl of wolves sounded. Many wolves who have been recharging their energy for many days have quickly climbed up from the ice. All. Hundreds of wolves immediately responded with howls, and more than 20 bears roared. The power it brings is something that the species living in the Arctic ice sheet have never seen before. Even the many alien species in the land of adventures have never been seen before. Perhaps the separate strengths of these wolves and bears, they simply dismissed them, but when they really gather together and have a unified core, the rising arrogance makes them all fear. Now all the wolves gathered quickly under the call of the Wolf King. They all looked up at Su Lin, with fanaticism in their wolf eyes. It has been more than half a month since the Wolf King came to this cold north, and they still remember why they came here. Blood feud. That herd of deer and wolves have a blood feud. Now that the herd of deer has been tracked down, they have long been waiting for the Wolf King's order. The loud howling of wolves not only carried the respect for the Wolf King, but also brought out the long-awaited killing intent. Why did the wolves come? Genocide, extermination. They want to kill that herd of deer to the point of extermination, before they can avenge their shame. As for Su Lin, who was standing on the snowy slope, he also nodded secretly when he saw the fighting wolves under his command. Only a pack of wolves with such morale can be an invincible pack of wolves who can follow him to fight and hunt any hunter. This time we have to take the deer first. All. Su Lin let out a long howl, and the sound wave rolled. Even if the wolf howl talent was not activated, the loud wolf howl still spread several kilometers away. The loud howling of wolves made some reindeer and musk oxen, who were grazing on water and grass in the periphery of Kyiu, look at such arrogance of wolves, with panic and fear in their eyes. Originally, through the aquatic plants in this land of adventure, their strength has been greatly improved, especially for the new reindeer group. After following the reindeer king to break through the wolves hunting, the original fear of wolves in their hearts dissipated a lot. In their hearts, wolves used to be the overlords who could dominate their lives. But after that day, I feel that the huge reindeer is their overlord, the king who can lead them to survive better on the Arctic ice sheet. After following the deer king to this land of adventure, with the fertile aquatic plants in this land of adventure, they don't even need to rely on those moss and shrubs to survive in the wolf pack's territory. This piece of plump water grass is extremely sweet and full of pure energy, which makes them grow rapidly in just 10 days. But where did they imagine that the wolves would drive hundreds of miles and hunt down here? Even this pack of wolves is more arrogant than when they hunted them that day. Such an arrogance of wolves made their original fear, and fear of wolves once again lifted in their minds. The sound of deer croaking was also noisy. With their big eyes, they looked at the pack of wolves that were about to rush in, panicked and at a loss. They could only scream one after another, wanting to summon the king in their hearts, and wanting to follow their own king to inflict heavy damage on this wolf pack again. It's just that they didn't know at all that the huge reindeer king had already been scared out of his wits after a bloody battle with Surin last time. Facing the croaking of the deer, he just hid in the depths of the land of adventures and did not dare to show his head. But if the deer king won't show up, it doesn't mean that the wolves and Selin will let it go. That reindeer king is the biggest killer of the wolves. Only by bathing in its blood and devouring its flesh, and blood can the hatred of the wolves be eliminated. Genocide extermination. What is genocide? If the reindeer king ran away, would it still be called extermination? All. The cold killing intent in the howling of wolves resounded in the dark night. The soaring howl of wolves also. Many powerful hunters in the land of adventures looked over. Looking at the arrogance of the wolves, there is a very serious look in their eyes. Such a pack of wolves. Is there really any force in the land of adventures that can stop them? At this time, Su Lin was not suppressing the wolves. Now that the momentum of the wolves is at its peak, and the strength of the wolves has improved greatly compared to before, now is the time to test the combat power of the wolves. Kill. Without experiencing repeated bloody battles, how could the wolves grow to the point where they pushed across the entire North Pole? How can they deal with the powerful forces in the mysterious iceberg? Especially there is a Kani Mountain wolf, who is also a wolf clan. The individual strength of the Kani Mountain wolf is not at the same level as that of the Arctic wolf. Facing such a tyrannical Kani Mountain wolf pack in the future, the wolves under his command must grow up quickly in order to deal with it. Su Lin's ambition goes far beyond just ruling an area of more than 10,000 square kilometers. What he wants is a real side-push full North Pole. Even the power of that mysterious iceberg is in his plan. After the great changes in the world, I don't know how the world will go in the future. Only by turning the North Pole into a back garden belonging to the wolves can he be able to advance and retreat. If you advance, you can see the world as a wolf, and if you retreat, you can stick to the North Pole. All. With another earth-shattering long howl, the arrogance of the whole wolf pack boiled even more. This wolf howl is the howl of attack. It will also set off a bloody battle of wolves. Through their keen sense of smell and senses, the wolves under Surin can also feel the strength of those species in the land of adventures. But with the Wolf King sitting in town, they are fearless. Amidst Su Lin's attacking roar, the little lone wolf took the lead, and led hundreds of male wolves under his command to charge towards the land of adventure. These days, it came to explore this land of adventure, so it is naturally more familiar with this place than the rest of the wolf clan. In addition, it is the only alpha wolf in the current wolf pack. As a pioneer, it must do its part. All. While running wildly, the little lone wolf raised his aura with a long howl, and the many male wolves behind him howled too. Hundreds of male wolves, most of which had broken through level 6, howled, and combined with the power of the charge, they had an aura of crushing all obstacles. During these days, the little lone wolf is specially rewarded by Su Lin with the most heterogeneous flesh and blood. By devouring a large amount of heterogeneous flesh and blood, its strength has reached the peak of level 13, and it is faintly about to break through level 14. This kind of strength, combined with the wolves, even the powerful aliens in this land of adventures, have to pay attention to them. Followed by Xiaobai led more than 20 bears, including the Han bear and the heterogeneous female polar bear. In order to show her loyalty to the wolf pack to the Wolf King, the heterogeneous female polar bear rushed to the front and joined the wolf pack after being affirmed by Xiaobai. The impact of such powerful wolves and bears caused turmoil in the entire land of adventures. As soon as he charged in, the little lone wolf and the many wolves under his command could smell the pure energy coming towards them. In this area, the fragrance of aquatic plants and the breath of pure energy are mixed together, not to mention devouring the aquatic plants and fruits inside. Even if you live here for a long time, you can get a lot of growth, if you think about it. So such a fertile land, only the strong deserve to occupy it. These fluffy herbivores that don't even have sharp claws and fangs are not worthy of occupying this fertile land at all. They are only worthy of being the blood of wolves. After the wolves charged in, many powerful aliens noticed. They know that the land of adventures, which has been quiet for a long time, is about to set off another earth-shattering change this time. A pack of wolves with such arrogance is bound to occupy many resources in the land of adventures. It is also destined to be accompanied by bloodshed and killing. The elegy of blood and life seems to resound over the cold Arctic ice field. As for Su Lin, who still didn't move, he was standing on the high snow slope. His golden-brown wolf eyes were staring at the strongest auras in the land of adventures. The purpose of leading the wolves here on such a large scale is to avenge the adventures here, and to avenge the blood that was severely injured by the deer last time. So in the battle of slaughtering the deer today, no one can stop the pace of the wolves. No matter which side of the hunters in this land of adventures dare to stop them, they will have to pay the price of blood. This area covered by aquatic plants is about 20,000 square kilometers, and the area is very vast, with many snow slopes, ice caves and some small icebergs. Most of the species have their own range of activities in this land of adventure. The herds of reindeer and musk oxen obviously move around where the aquatic plants are the rarest. It is also the species that bears the brunt of the wolves. It's just that this time the wolves were all targeting the reindeer herd, and didn't do anything to the muskox herd young. The crisp sound of deer blew in the air full of fragrance of water and grass. Many reindeer were waiting to be hunted by wolves because they were not led by the reindeer king. Facing the pack of wolves, they can only cry miserably. Many male reindeer also tried to fight back by relying on their huge size and sharp horns on the top of their heads. But everything was in vain. Their resistance to the wolves is like a small wave splashing in the sea. Without a unified core and belief, no matter how big they are, no matter how high their chi and blood are, and no matter how sharp their horns are, they will not pose the slightest threat to the wolves at all. As the reindeer fell, the howling of wolves in this land of adventure became more and more violent, and the blood was also scattered in this land of adventure. Among the wolves, the little lone wolf and the female polar bear are the bravest. Facing these ordinary species of reindeer is simply a bloody slaughter. Tear. The sound of sharp claws piercing the flesh of the reindeer. The little lone wolf, who was charging, cut open a male reindeer of level 9 with one claw. Blood bathed its wolf body, making it, which was already extremely ferocious in the killing, even more like a demon that came out of hell. The deer herd fled in panic, but it was of no use at all. One of them has evolved into a different species, a tall reindeer who can be called the right-hand man of the reindeer king. He originally wanted to scream and organize the deer group to resist, but it was soon noticed by the female polar bear, and she roared and headed towards the tall reindeer. Roar, young. The crisp deer cry and low bear roar resounded on the bloody battlefield. The two sides collided fiercely. The strength of the female polar bear, that has evolved into a different species, is not comparable to this tall reindeer. Pung. Hard hit. The huge bear's paw hit the middle of the tall reindeer's head directly, and the power of the palm had several tons of explosive force. With this palm, the tall reindeer staggered and retreated more than a dozen steps. It had a huge body of 3 to 4 meters, and it crashed into an ice and snow pile with some instability. Even if it is a heterogeneous species with tenacious vitality, facing this fierce blow, its eyes are still bloodshot, and its nose is also overflowing with blood. In the collision just now, the sharp antlers of the tall reindeer also pierced the polar bear's flesh. But polar bears still have thick fat as a buffer in their bodies. Even though they look bloody, they actually did not cause fatal injuries to female polar bears. Roar. Female polar bears are also hunters who have survived for a long time in the cold and snowy world. Although they were not aliens before, they had quite a lot of experience in fighting. After seriously injuring the tall alien reindeer, it continued to rush towards this tall reindeer without mercy. A pair of pitch-black bear eyes exuded ferocity and ruthlessness. Since it evolved into a heterogeneous species, its IQ has improved a lot. Naturally, he also understands its embarrassing position among wolves now. If it hadn't really worked hard in this battle, it would have come to the end of this battle, that is, when it would become the ration of wolves. Under the powerful desire to survive, it fights as hard as the little lone wolf. Amidst the deep growls of the bear tribe, it came to this tall reindeer again. The two sides began to collide viciously again. The strength of the tall reindeer and this female polar bear is still quite different. Even if it fought back desperately, it was useless. It wanted to use its sharp horns to pierce the polar bear's weak point, and even attacked the female polar bear's lower 3 sides. Once the bear bile, where the essence of the body was contained, was pierced, even a foreign species would lose most of its fighting power. But it didn't accomplish anything. The sharp angle just pierced the air. But the heavy bear's paw actually hit the tall reindeer's chest, directly denting its skeleton, and the huge deer's body also flew backwards under this vicious blow. Boom! The body fell on the icy and snowy ground, stirring up countless ice and snow. It screamed sadly while struggling to get up from the ice and snow ground. The tall reindeer faced this mighty female polar bear, and the fighting spirit in the eyes of the deer was destroyed. The wolves that came in were too powerful, and there were so many bears as helpers. This caused the deer herd, which did not have a unified command, to fall into a bloody massacre. Tragic deer cries, wild wolf howls, low bear roars, intertwined in this area. All the reindeer now have panic and fear in their eyes, as if they have returned to the time when they were in the territory of wolves and were dominated by wolves. Under this kind of fear, they fled in a panic. But this escape made the wolves unscrupulous, because the prey that will not resist and only escape will not pose the slightest threat to the wolves at all, and will not even cause the slightest attrition. How could such a herd of deer have a second end besides becoming the blood of the wolves? Tear. The sound of flesh and blood being torn was heard from time to time. With the herd of deer fleeing in a hurry, many wolves even gave up hunting in groups and started chasing and killing these reindeer in 2s and 3s. What's more, A level 6 Arctic wolf dared to chase and bite a peak level 8 reindeer, leaving several bloody scars on the reindeer, and its fangs viciously tore off a large piece of flesh and blood from the reindeer. This is what happens when you are scared out of your wits. Such a herd of deer, who dare not fight back, does not need to use the hunting tactics of wolves at all, and has become pigs, dogs and sheep that can be slaughtered at will. Such a bloody scene made the eyes of the scattered musk oxen show a trace of fear of the wolves. As for those aliens who already had high IQs, watching this scene, they couldn't help feeling terrified by the cruelty and bloodiness of the wolves. As for the slaughtered deer herd, none of the alien species expressed sympathy, because in the cruel nature, they all follow the law of the jungle. This bloody scene also made these powerful aliens and hunters more convinced, in this cruel world of ice and snow, there is no survival by begging, and fleeing will only make the killing and bloodshed more unscrupulous. Under the attention of many powerful alien species, and various forces in the place of adventure, this bloody massacre of wolves against deer has become more intense. The dazzling blood of the reindeer flowed wantonly on the ice, and the reindeer were bitten and fell to the ground. All the reindeer who were still alive were terrified and afraid, and the wolves behind them seemed to be urging death. At this time, they finally remembered the benefits of being in the wolf pack's territory. There may not be abundant and sweet aquatic plants there, but at least they can reproduce safely. Even wolves keep them safe from the rest of the hunters. But now after the rebellion came out, what ushered in was not the beautiful deer life in the dream, nor the powerful future described by the reindeer king to himself. What ushered in was the bloody massacre that the wolves drove for hundreds of miles. The soaring killing intent brought out by the howling of wolves made many reindeer feel scared and trembling in their bones. Many reindeer were so frightened that they couldn't run anymore, and fell limply on the ground. They half-kneeled on the ground, wanting to beg the wolves for a chance to survive. They are willing to follow the wolves back to the former territory, and even willing to work hard to reproduce and mate, just to satisfy the wolves' food, as long as they can give them a chance of life, and give them the hope of passing on their genes. Ordinary species are just slaves to genes, which is often true. Nowadays, under the trend of genetic instinct, these reindeer are crazily exuding survival desire, but it has not played the slightest role. All wolves have bloodthirsty hunting desires in their eyes. From the moment this deer herd rebelled against the wolves following the reindeer king, it was already destined to bleed on the ice field. The vengeance of more than 20 wolf companions needs to be sacrificed with their lives. Whether begging for mercy or fleeing, the final outcome is the same. The wolf king's order is to kill this herd of deer, so no one will be left alive. The bloody killing was being staged and lasted for 3 or 4 hours. The wolves nearly wiped out the deer herd. Only a few scattered reindeer fled to the depths of the land of adventures, and the wolves chased directly towards the depths of the land of adventures. Originally, the outskirts of the land of adventures was the territory of the reindeer herd. If the wolves occupied this place, the rest of the hunters would not speak. But when the pack of wolves chased into the depths, they suddenly moved. This is a heterogeneous snow owl, much stronger than the one that Su Ling killed before. Squeak! With a sharp cry, the alien snow owl soared into the sky. It doesn't want to take care of the bloody fight between wolves and deer, but it has to take care of it when it hits its territory. After evolving into a heterogeneous species, the heterogeneous Shui Xiao naturally seized a territory in this land of adventures. Territorial awareness is also very important in my heart. After screaming, its wings spread out, and were 7 or 8 meters in size. This is a heterogeneous snow owl with terrifying strength, and more than 20 attributes. Pung! Flapping its wings violently, it directly swept away the deer and wolves that had entered its territory. The force was so great that a reindeer and 2 wolves were killed instantly. The blood splattered in all directions added a few points to the bloody smell of this land of adventures. Such a bloody scene also demonstrated the dominance of this alien snow owl. Not only did it fail to give face to the deer, it also never planned to give face to the wolves dare to enter it. Everyone on the ground must die. The innate air supremacy is the source of confidence for the different species of birds. The strength of the alien snow owl made the wolves stop for a while, but the pair of wolf eyes looked at the companion, who was slapped to death by the heterogeneous Shui Xiao, with resentment and anger. It's just that because of the heterogeneous snow owl soaring in the air, even the little lone wolf feels at a loss. As for the few remaining reindeer, they were shivering between the alien snow owl and the wolves. At this time, such a scene was also caught by Su Ling, who was standing on the snow slope and watching the battlefield here. Alien snow owl. Seeing the strange species from the land of adventures make a move, his golden brown wolf eyes suddenly showed a hint of ferocity. You must know that he came to this land of adventures. What he wanted was not just the barren resources, on the periphery occupied by the deer herd. If possible, what he wants is all this land of adventures. So he never intended to kill only the deer this time. If you kill, you will be shocked. Just one herd is not enough. The air supremacy of different species of birds may be very difficult in the eyes of other hunters. But for Surin, who is bird gliding and airworthiness, not much. Surin hadn't tasted the meat quality of the heterogeneous snow owl for a long time. At this moment, just as the alien snow owl was soaring in the sky, with a pair of snow-white eyes staring at the wolves below, a wolf howl that could be called earth-shattering resounded, all accompanied by the sound of howling wolves. There was also a huge wolf body with a cloud of sonic boom. Su Lin's current speed has surpassed the speed of sound. Before the sound comes, the shadow goes first. It is definitely not just talk. Speeds beyond the speed of sound, not to mention ordinary species. Even the alien species in this area have never seen Su Lin's moving speed clearly. At a speed of more than 300 meters per second, it didn't take long at all to come to this battlefield from the snowy slope. Boom! With the help of a speed of more than 300 meters per second, Su Lin jumped up. This leap has a height of nearly 100 meters, which is equivalent to the height of a 30-story building. With one leap, he directly came to the mid-air and collided with this alien snow owl face to face. When Su Lin appeared in front of the heterogeneous Zuxiao, the disdainful look in the eyes of the heterogeneous Zuxiao disappeared immediately. A leap of nearly 100 meters. It looked at the white wolf in front of it with a pair of huge snow-white eyes, and it was completely unbelievable. And before it recovered from its astonishment, with the help of Su Lin, who was at a speed of more than 300 meters per second, he had already arrived in front of it in an instant. In the dark night sky, Su Lin's wolf claws popped out completely, and the claws, which were more than 30 centimeters long, were extremely sharp. The xenogenic snow owl, who is used to domineering at ordinary times, could only barely resist with sharp claws in this haste. The claws on both sides have become stronger and sharper than steel during successive evolutions. Under the violent collision, it was like a gold stone colliding when the ear-piercing impact sounded in mid-air. Su Lin's blow was unparalleled. While the alien snow owl hastily resisted, he was knocked out by this blow and flew tens of meters away. Huge wings fluttered desperately in mid-air, and the alien snow owl also understood the horror of this white wolf after the violent blow just now, so it does its best not to fall to the ground, otherwise it will really have no advantage. At that time, with the frightening speed of the white wolf arriving first, I am afraid that I will be like these deer, blood-stained on the ice field. But Su Lin didn't give it this chance at all. A dark blue fluorescence suddenly flashed on his huge wolf body, and soon the fluorescence was restrained into the wolf body. Su Lin's wolf eyes also turned dark blue. The talent wolf howls. Coming up is a lore, and this battle is bound to kill rivers of blood and corpses of different species. All. An earth-shattering howl of wolves resounded in mid-air. The sound waves of howling wolves were like thunder rolling in the sky, making the cold air seem to be trembling. This tyrannical sound wave swept directly towards the alien snow owl at a speed of thousands of meters per second. The tyrannical shock wave brought out by the howling of wolves made the alien snow owl, who had stabilized his figure, show a horrified expression in his eyes. Pung! The howling sound wave slammed into it fiercely, and the powerful impact caused the feathers all over its body to be scattered and flew in all directions. The two huge wings couldn't stabilize its figure in the air at all. It drew an arc in mid-air, and then fell to the ground. Boom! The huge body of the alien snow owl stirred up bursts of ice and snow on the ground. The B-level wolf howl is completely different from the D-level wolf howl last time. The roar of the wolf roaring sound waves is extremely tyrannical. This blow was equivalent to 7 or 8 tons of explosive force, exploding on the alien snow owl's body, directly causing strands of blood to overflow from the eyes and beak of the alien snow owl. In addition, several cracks appeared in the viscera and flesh of the whole body. The alien snow owl was stronger than the male lynx, but suffered far more injuries than the male lynx. But it is still desperately struggling from the ground, trying to quickly rise into the air. Because it is a bird of prey, only in the sky can it have a strong sense of security in its heart. But it's too late. Now that it has landed, Su Lin has no intention of letting it rise into the air again. Boom! A huge sonic boom sounded, bringing out sonic boom clouds. Such a rapid speed made the eyes of the aliens watching the battle show a very dignified look. Even the peregrine falcon, which claims to be the fastest in this land of adventures, felt a bit of pressure seeing the speed of the white wolf. At this time, Su Lin appeared in front of the Shiwai of the alien species as if teleporting, and the indestructible wolf claws completely popped out. And the alien snow owl also felt the fatal danger, with a pale white fluorescence rising from his body. With a loud and sharp cry, the pale white fluorescence entered the body, and the strength of the alien snow owl was greatly improved. Passionate talent. It is astonishingly the same talent as last time's xenogenic snow owl. It's just that the passionate talent this time is B-level, and the improved strength can be called huge. The passion talent is the same as the hunting talent, both increase speed and strength, but it is not as high as the hunting talent of the same level. This talent also made the heterogeneous Zuxiao suppress the pain caused by the howling of wolves, and then stretched out his sharp beak to slam into Sulin's wolf claws. It is usually invincible, and can easily tear the beaks of bears and large herbivores, but this time it did not make any achievements at all. Even if the passionate talent is turned on, the strength of the xenogenic snow owl has increased a lot, but under this violent collision, the mouth of the beak was still cracked, and the blood and feathers on the huge head were also mixed together and splashed. Cuckoo! The sharp cry of the snow owl exploded. Even though the blood of the xenomorph's feathers was spattered from the beating, the xenophobia still had a vicious attitude, and began to fight with Su Lin Wen. The sound of gold and stone colliding resounded in the land of adventure, and the tyrannical collision and fluctuation of the two sides also made all the alien species who were paying attention to this battle look sideways. As for the few remaining reindeer that were hunted by wolves, they were also trembling with fright under the tyrannical fluctuation. At present, after the heterogeneous Zuxiao has activated the passionate talent, his strength is as high as 500 or 600 in terms of strength and speed. Even if he still lost to Su Lin, he could barely resist. Once it is lifted into the air, even Surin will be a little tricky, so Su Lin didn't give this alien snow owl a chance to escape. Pung! It collided fiercely with the wings of the alien snow owl again. This claw directly pierced through the wings of the alien snow owl this time, even though the wings of the alien snow owl had already been stronger than steel through many evolutions. They couldn't stop Su Lin's attack at all. This blow was enough to shatter gold and rocks, and a bloody gash was pierced through the huge wings of the xenogenic snow owl. This made it cry like crazy in pain, struggling crazily, trying to break away from Surin's wolf claws, and soar into the air. Only when it is in the air, relying on the suppression of the air, can it have a hearty battle with this white wolf. But there is no such possibility. Su Lin's sharp wolf claws slashed fiercely at Xue Zion's huge wings, and the wound instantly changed from a blood hole to a terrifying huge wound. I don't know how many feathers and blood have been torn off. The heterogeneous snow owl's wings have suffered such severe injuries. I am afraid that even if it is allowed to take off at this time, it will be difficult to fly up again. In pain, the heterogeneous Xue Xiao frantically fought back against Su Lin. The sharp claws and sharp beak also drew bloodstains on Surin's flesh. The heterogeneous snow owl, who has turned on the talent, is not weak. Even if Su Lin's hair has entered the defensive battle, it is still scratched. Due to devouring the genetic flesh and essence of many species, the blood in Surin's huge wolf body became faintly fluorescent. This symbolizes that Su Lin's flesh and blood, whether it is its rarity or the pure energy it contains, far exceeds that of ordinary alien species. This kind of temptation of blood made the eyes of many heterogeneous people, standing in the distance watching the battle, burst out with brilliance. But then, thinking of the powerful combat power of this white wolf, he could only give up this thought in his heart. There were only some vicious and powerful aliens, who were used to killing and bloodshed, and the eyes in those pairs of terrifying eyes still did not move away from Su Lin. In their eyes, the temptation of Su Lin's flesh and blood far surpassed the aquatic plants and fruits in the land of adventures. At this time, with Su Lin's blood flowing, he and the Xue of the alien species also fought fiercely. Tear! Accompanied by the sound of flesh and blood being torn apart, Su Lin tore off the iron-like wings of this alien snow owl, bloody and raw. Only the fangs also resisted the struggle of the alien snow owl, biting towards the neck of the alien snow owl. If it is said that Surin's wolf claws have undergone multiple evolutions and are already invincible, then the sharpness and strength of the fangs are far better than wolf claws, because for wolves, fangs are often the strongest lethal weapon. Katsa! Xue Zion's neck bones were smashed into pieces in one bite. Su Lin greedily sucked the blood of the alien snow owl from the neck. This blood is sweet and delicious, and as the blood is sucked into the stomach by Surin, it is also converted into billowing energy and evolution value. And at this time, the xenogenic snow owl was still struggling desperately, trying to escape the clutches of this white wolf. The strong vitality of the alien species, and the suppression of injuries brought about by the passionate talent made this snow owl still have the strength to resist even though he suffered such serious injuries. But no matter how much it resists, its fate is already doomed. Tear! After Su Lin greedily sucked enough blood, he directly tore off a large piece of flesh and blood from the neck of the alien snow owl. The flesh and blood, together with the bones and tendons at the neck, almost completely tore off the head and body of the xenogenic snow owl. With such a severe injury, No matter how strong the vitality of the alien species is, it cannot sustain it at all, because such injuries cannot be borne by living things. No matter how strong the alien species is, it is still a living thing after all, and has not yet surpassed the limits of life and genes. When the bloody throat was completely bitten and crushed, the xenomorph snow owl couldn't even utter a sharp cry. Tweeting has become a luxury for it. Followed by, Su Lin gave another blow, hitting Shui Xiao on the head. Pung. This fierce blow caused the head of the xenogenic Shui Xiao, who was already in a dying state, to shake like a candle in the wind, which was haughty and domineering at the beginning. The bones and nerves of the heterogeneous Shui Xiao's head were shattered by this blow, and the huge eyes were blood red. There is only some desire for survival in its eyes, but this desire is only a flower in the mirror after all, and it is impossible to realize it. Su Lin's wolf claws cut through the flesh again like a knife, and came to the root of Shui Xiao's other wing, and then stabbed the claws tightly to hook the root of the wing, and through the body of the different species of Shui Xiao, towards a huge ice and snow pile. Pung! The pile of ice and snow, which was harder than steel, shattered in response. The alien snow owl's internal organs and flesh were cracked by the sound waves of howling wolves at the beginning. Under this violent impact, the flesh exploded, and fragments of internal organs flew out from the wound. The blood also splashed wantonly in the cold air, and this blood also splashed on the fur of Surin's wolf body. Su Lin, who was bathed in the blood of this alien snow owl, had a pair of eyes full of coldness. At this time, the alien snow owl could no longer make a cry. Its huge body was just struggling on the ice layer for the last time. But this struggle was feeble, and he couldn't even draw a few ice marks on the hard ice layer. But at this time, Su Lin, who was covered in the blood of this xenogenic snow owl all over his body, looked like a bloody mad wolf that came out of the netherworld in the eyes of many powerful xenomorphs, all accompanied by a long howl that did not use his talent. The arrogance rising from Su Lin's body became even stronger. Seeing how easily their wolf king slaughtered the enemy, the whole pack of wolves became extremely fanatical and howled along. 100 wolves howled. The arrogance of the wolves rose to the extreme, and the arrogance rushed straight into the dark night sky. In the eyes of many wolves among the wolves, the bloody and mad wolf king in front of them has become the invincible god in their hearts. After the aura of the wolves reached its peak, Su Lin also ended the life of this alien snow owl. As for the few remaining reindeer, they were also beheaded by wolves. Now if Su Lin stops the conquest, he should be able to occupy the periphery of this land of adventure and the territory of this alien snow owl. But not enough. Far from enough. The aquatic plants eaten by these reindeer, even if they contain some pure energy, but after all, it is just aquatic plants and can only support some herbivores. How can it support hundreds of wolves and dozens of bears? These can't satisfy the appetite of the wolves and Surin. Now that the wolves are in full swing, killing them is a must. And these days, the little lone wolf has already figured out the location of the reindeer king and the alien grizzly bear in the depths of the land of adventures. That is the territory of the alien grizzly bear and the muskox king. It was in their territory that the reindeer king hid. Can be seen that their plan is to dedicate this group of deer to the wolves and kill themselves, so as to dissipate their anger. But this calculation is wrong. The anger and appetite of the wolves cannot be calmed down like this. At this time, Su Lin first swallowed the essence of the xenomorph snow owl into his stomach. Ding! Congratulations to the host for eating the liver of a heterogeneous snow owl, level 23, and gaining 5,700 evolution points. Ding! Congratulations to the host for eating the remaining talent essence of the heterogeneous snow owl to purify a talent serum. 5,700 evolution points. This evolution value is not small, and the essence parts of more than 20 levels will increase with the skyrocketing level. After devouring it, Su Lin let out a long roar again, leading the pack of wolves to the depths of this land of adventures. Roar! Chirp! Oh! When the wolves drove straight in, many powerful hunters uttered warning calls. These tweets didn't make Surin and the wolves care at all. As for those who came out to attack the wolves, they were all torn apart by the little lone wolf and the female polar bear. On the way of the wolves' conquest, blood and killing are indispensable. This land of adventures is huge, larger than the territory of the wolves in the south of Surin. So in addition to the tyrannical alien species that the little lone wolf explored, there are also some other alien species. These non-strong alien species do not have a large territory in this area, only scattered for a few miles around, but they are more numerous. I don't know if it's the coercion of the alien reindeer king and the alien grizzly bear, or if these little aliens are too obsessed with territory. In short, when the wolves passed by these territories, these alien species that were not strong all attacked the wolves. Many wolves also shed blood in their hands. But Su Lin didn't let the wolves stop, because he wanted to establish his prestige in this land of adventure, and wanted to kill until blood flowed into rivers. It is simply unrealistic to say that the wolves had no casualties during this bloody journey. One must experience the cruelty of blood and bones. Those alien species who dared to attack also fell one after another as the wolves went deeper into the land of adventures. These weak alien species did not stop the pace of the wolves, and the wolves advanced very fast. At this time Su Lin and the little lone wolf charged forward. The cousin led nearly 200 wolves and followed behind. Xiao Hui led the elite wolf clan, and was struggling to catch up with Su Lin. After all, they are the Wolf King's personal guards. Where the Wolf King is, they should be there. As for the many bears under Xiao Bei's command, they have already mixed with the wolves, and followed the wolves to kill them, killing the herd of deer and the alien snow all blocking the way, and beheading several alien species, who dared to do it along the way, made the wolves even more aggressive kill. The killing intent of the wolves soared into the sky. The lives of the alien reindeer king and the alien grizzly bear belonged to the wolves. They have all attacked Surin before, especially the reindeer king still owes blood feud to the wolves. If you don't kill them, how can the wolves stand up in this land of adventures? But just as the wolves drove for another 100 miles, and saw that they were about to reach the territory of the alien grizzly bear, a tyrannical hunter with a size of more than 10 meters suddenly appeared on the snow slope, directly in front of the wolves. The mighty arrogance of this tyrannical hunter is like a towering mountain. Just standing here will make all the members of the wolf pack, who charge, have their hair blown out. It's a muskox. A muskox that is as strong as it is of the peak. Some time ago, the heterogeneous lynx couple, the heterogeneous polar bear and the heterogeneous snow owl that Su Lin killed were all experts in this land of adventures. Then this alien muskox should be the strongest among the strongest in this adventure. Muskox King? There is no doubt that this is the Muskox King that little lone wolf hadn't found some time ago. The alien reindeer king escaped to its territory, and the alien grizzly bear's territory, and even several muskoxen, who defected from the wolf pack's territory, were also taken under its command. Now it's blocking the way again. This caused Su Lin, who was right in front of the wolves, to narrow his golden-brown wolf eyes, revealing endless killing intent. He directly stepped forward, only about 300 meters away from the alien muskox king. The two sides are facing each other in this ice and snow field, and their respective tyrannical arrogance is also rising rapidly. Surin didn't look for this alien muskox king, but it came to stop the wolves first. So why would Su Lin, who was already completely stained with blood, be afraid of being killed to turn the world upside down? If the muskox king didn't know what to do, he wouldn't mind that the muskox clan would be wiped out as well. This muskox king is very powerful. If it doesn't care about the alien king squid, no matter what strange flowers and plants it encounters, then this muskox king is the strongest alien that Su Lin has encountered, even stronger than that alien grizzly that has had many adventures. Of course, the premise is that the daughter parasitic on the alien muskox is not counted. At this time, the muskox king, which was more than 10 meters in size, was quietly confronting Su Lin. With its huge size, can trample to death many common species of wolves and bears just by its size. Even polar bears of ordinary species can barely reach its chest when standing upright. Among the entire pack of wolves, not many can break through its defenses. Even defenses such as weaknesses cannot be broken by ordinary wolves. With a thought in Su Lin's mind, the numerical attributes of the muskox king appeared in front of him. Species, muskox, exotic. Level 31. Vitality, 13,385. Stamina, 598. Strength, 637. Defense, 652. Speed, 396. Talents, Brutal Charge, Level B. Defense, Level B. Breath Concentration, Level C. The attribute value of this alien muskox appeared in front of Su Lin. The defense and strength of more than 600 at every turn fully demonstrated the tyranny of this alien muskox. Such tyrannical strength also made Su Lin Lang narrow his eyes slightly, and the fighting spirit in his eyes rose to the peak. Finally, there is an alien species with a face. To be honest, ever since Su Lin came out from the mysterious iceberg, he has never met an opponent who can give him a hearty fight. Nowadays, the alien species with more than 20 levels are just pigs waiting to be slaughtered in front of him. Only this tyrannical muskox king could feel a little bit of pressure for Surin, but it's just a trace. If the muskox king insists on protecting the reindeer king, then today is the day when it will stain the ice field with blood. Su Lin and the muskox king confronted each other for a long time, and the momentum between the two sides collided invisible. After another moment, the alien muskox king roared in a low voice. Neither the wolves nor the bears in the wolf pack could understand the roar of the muskox. After all, there are fundamental communication barriers between different species. However, Su Lin understood it from the mental fluctuations from the different species of muskox. This was a warning and a deterrent to himself. This land of adventures does not allow him and the wolves to act recklessly. This made Su Lin laugh a little angrily, and at the same time, the killing intent and wild, fighting intent in Sen Hen's eyes also went up to a higher level. He led the pack of wolves here just to kill and establish his prestige, so why can't he act recklessly? And many wolves and bears behind him, although they have never understood the roar of the muskox king, but before the battle, the roar of all prey has long been regarded as a demonstration. That's why all the members of the wolves roared following the roar of the mountains and tsunami. Power brought by the roar of hundreds of wolves and more than 20 bears made this alien muskox king stop. While roaring, many members of the wolf group also dispersed and surrounded the alien muskox king. Little Lone Wolf, Little Gray, Wen Xiong, and different female polar bears also scattered around the different muskox king. The behavior of the wolves made the alien muskox king know that his deterrence had no effect at all, but completely angered the wolves. But it doesn't have much fear. The muskoxen and the wolves have long been rivals. Since the beginning of ordinary species, the muskox family has been fighting desperately against the hunting of wolves. The brave muskox family has never known what to be afraid of. Facing the siege of wolves, the alien muskox king immediately roared. The low roar of the bull exploded in the cold air, and it began to summon its own group in this land of adventure. The muskox king has been in this land of adventure for a long time, and the muskox family under his command is more diverse than the reindeer under the reindeer king. Under the low roar of the bull, there were at least 100 muskoxen, rushing towards this area in an instant. The status of this alien muskox king in the muskox group is equivalent to that of Selin in the wolf pack. Therefore, no muskox dared not care about the king's call. That is to say, it was still on the edge of the land of adventure, and the muskox that was rushed in by the wolves and fled in all directions did not come. After all, the edge of the land of adventures is hundreds of miles away. No matter how far the muskox king's roar is transmitted, cannot be transmitted hundreds of miles. At least hundreds of muskoxen rushing over also possessed a wild power. Perhaps the muskox king had already confessed, so these muskoxen did not gather together, but scattered in twos and threes, attacking the wolves that surrounded the muskox king. Because these muskoxen have been in the land of adventure for a long time, they also occupy a lot of territory, and from time to time they can go to the periphery to eat the water and grass of the deer herd, so these muskoxen are much stronger than the muskoxen outside. There are even several muskoxen of different species just in the sight of Surin. This made Su Lin let out a long roar, and let the wolves deal with the rushing muskoxen. As for the muskox herd scattered in twos and threes, it was obviously in response to Su Lin's talent for howling wolves. It can be seen that this alien muskox king is also very afraid of Su Lin's wolf howling talent. Maybe it was a part of the line of sight that was spying secretly that day, coupled with the enhanced talent of howling wolves. During the battle with the alien snow owl just now, it made the alien muskox king even more dignified and fearful. All under the roar of the wolf king. The wolf king, who had surrounded the muskox king, reluctantly withdrew from the encirclement. At the beginning, they also gathered together in twos and threes to fight with this rushing herd of muskoxen. The wolves and the muskoxen became entangled in an instant. The muskox group is often hunted by wolves, and it is indeed the largest group opponent of wolves in the Arctic ice sheet. Because of the bravery and indomitable spirit of the muskox, it often breaks through the hunting of the wolves and even kills the wolves. In addition, the arrogance of this muskox herd is very wild, and it can be said to be the sharpest confrontation with today's wolves. Led by the little lone wolf, the pack of wolves began to swim and run quickly in the open, icy and snowy field. The running of hundreds of wolves caused a large expanse of snow and ice to splash under their feet. Faced with such a wild herd of muskoxen, the wolves did not hunt head-on like hunting deer, but dispersed. A pair of hunting wolves stared at the old, weak, sick and disabled of the muskox herd, and decided to take advantage of the muskox herd's own weaknesses to drag down the muskox herd completely. How can there be any benevolence and morality on the battlefield of fighting and bloody? There's never a lot to do here, because the battlefield is the bloodiest place. This place does not pay attention to all rules, only pay attention to victory or defeat. The winner is king, definitely not an empty talk. All. The wolves wandering and running, and the sound of the roaring and tsunami made the muskoxen, charging in twos and threes, feel noisy and disturbed. At the same time, The terrifying pair of wolf eyes with bloodthirsty expression also made the brave musk ox, who never knew what fear was, feel uneasy. In this wandering and running, the wolves quickly discovered the weak among these musk oxen. They all tacitly gathered their superior strength, and launched the fastest charge against these old, weak, sick and disabled musk oxen, trying to make this musk ox herd, causing the fastest attrition. Regardless of any species, even the brave musk ox family will feel chills in the face of bloody death and attrition. The screams of the same kind will deal a heavy blow to their morale. If morale is lost at that time, then this musk oxen herd will also usher in the slaughter of the reindeer herd just now. Lost the courage to go forward, lost the confidence to fight bloody wolves. No matter how strong their bodies are, no matter how sharp their horns are, they are useless. They can only become corpses slaughtered by wolves. At this time, over this area, the roar of wolves and the roar of musk ox intertwined. An unprecedentedly tragic group battle has begun here. Among them, the little lone wolf, the alien polar bear, the warm bear, and the little gray, also soon faced the alien species in the musk ox herd in the fight. And the little lone wolf looked at the alien musk ox that he was facing in front of him, and smelled the smell from its body. His pair of light blue wolf eyes couldn't help but recall a touch of memory, because it still has a deep impression on this alien musk ox. This is obviously the young musk ox that it captured from the musk ox herd, as a restraint when it followed the wolf pack for the first time to participate in the hunt. Can be seen that the musk ox that defected to the territory of the wolves that day was planned by the little musk ox. And the little musk ox that had grown up looked at the ferocious lone wolf in front of him with deep purple eyes, and flashed with deep hatred and anger. Mo! The low roar of the bull suddenly exploded, facing the little lone wolf, the biggest murderer who bit off its leg and almost tortured it to death. In its rage, it rushed towards the little lone wolf, trampling on the ice and snow with its hooves. It wants to prove with facts that it is no longer the weak cub it was back then. The wolves can no longer dominate its life. It's just that this little musk ox that has evolved into a different species has too much confidence. Because of the combat strength of the little lone wolf, it has not soared by leaps and bounds during this period of time. So the attack of this little alien musk ox not only didn't make the little lone wolf feel the slightest fear, but the wolf's eyes burst out with ferocity again. Kill. Now that he is an old friend of the wolves, if he dares to walk on the opposite side of the wolves, he will naturally have to kill them all. The little lone wolf with ferocious arrogance rising from his body, and this alien musk ox fought head to head. The grievances between the two parties are about to be settled here. After defecting from the Sulin territory, the little musk ox was taken care of by the musk ox king in this place of adventure. He devoured a lot of fruits, and his strength also ushered in a great improvement in the past half a month. The body swelled to the point of more than 4 meters. Operation timed out after 60,001 milliseconds with 0 bytes received. Pung! It was another heavy collision. Even though the musk ox king's bull head was hard, a crack was still punched out during several shopping fights with Su Lin. This collision caused both sides to retreat dozens of steps. Considering the huge size of Su Lin and musk ox king, these dozens of steps are impressively 2 to 300 meters. After a short but intense fight, the musk ox king, whose head was covered with blood, had a clearer understanding of the fighting power of the white wolf in front of him. Fear, horror to the extreme. The fighting strength of the white wolf in front of him exceeded the strength shown by its size. The rule that the bigger the body, the stronger the strength seems to be invalid for this white wolf. This white wolf not only has shocking speed, but also possesses extremely wild attack power. With an attack of 20 to 30 tons, under such an attack, an ordinary alien species would be seriously injured with only one blow. That is to say, the musk ox king is relying on his own tyrannical blood to counter the white wolf. At this time, the musk ox king felt that the alien snow owls, the alien lynx couples, and the alien polar bears killed by Su Lin were not wronged. Too strong. This white wolf is really too strong. At this time, Su Lin was bathed in the blood of different species of snow owls, and the blood of many different species killed along the way. Standing on this icy and snowy land, he looked like a bloody demon king. Even the pitch-black night couldn't hide the invincible arrogance rising from his body. The power of Surin and the wolves also made many hunters in the land of adventures feel suffocated and oppressed. They didn't even dare to think, how did such an arrogant wolf pack and wolf king grow up? Could it be that there is such pure energy outside the land of adventures? At the same time, these species in the land of adventure, because they can get plenty of food and energy for free, so they are far less ferocious than Sulin and his wolves when facing a real life and death struggle. Looking at the extremely ferocious pack of wolves, there was more or less fear in their eyes. A pack of wolves is about to kill other groups and exterminate their species. This kind of cruelty has never been seen before in their cognition, and this muskox king felt the severe pain from his head and neck, and he was somewhat afraid of the white wolf king in front of him. There is even a hint of retreat in my heart. After all, this is not its business, although the alien reindeer king and the alien grizzly promised it a lot of benefits. But this benefit, you have to be lucky to get it. At this time, just when the muskox king was about to retreat, two loud cries suddenly sounded from the snowy slope in the distance. The reindeer king and the alien grizzly, who had been watching this unprecedented battle for a long time, finally appeared on the snowy slope not far away. In today's battle, they have already seen that the anger and killing of the wolves will not stop because of the destruction of the deer. They are indeed afraid of Surin's terrifying combat power, but if they must be killed, how can they not fight hard, kill? With the help of the muskox king, either the terrifying white wolf died in today's battle, or they were bloody on the ice field. If the muskox king retreats again, they will really be close to death. So at the moment when the muskox king started to get hurt, they jumped from the dark to the bright. Roar, young. The roars of the bear clan and the crisp deer cries also erupted on this bloody battlefield. The appearance of the alien grizzly bear and the alien reindeer king also restored the confidence of the muskox king, who had just retreated. It also let out a long roar, and a pair of dark purple bull eyes collided with Su Lin's sight again with boiling anger. To be honest, the fighting power of this white wolf really shocked all the hunters in the land of adventures, but it doesn't mean that this white wolf can still hold it if it rushes forward. Alien reindeer king, alien grizzly bear, alien muskox king. These three alien species are strong even in the land of adventures, and they are the overlords of the Arctic ice field outside. Therefore, once they have extremely high IQs, once they join forces, their power will definitely not be weaker than the hunting of wolves. One can imagine the three wolves with their strength. If they cooperate with each other, what kind of ending will it be? But this is not the worst ending. Just after the alien grizzly bear and the alien reindeer king Chi-Chi appeared on the battlefield, several loud air friction sounds sounded one after another in this land of adventures. This means that there are at least a few tyrannical alien species, and they are also approaching here quickly. They may not make a move now, but since they are here, they just want to reap the benefits of the fisherman. Regardless of the defeat of Surin, or the defeat of the alien muskox king, alien grizzly bear, and reindeer king, they will all swallow the skin and bones of the defeated party into their stomachs. After all, the pure energy contained in high-level heterogeneous flesh and blood is also very huge. As for Su Lin, there is no need to say more, devouring the gene fragments of an unknown number of species and exotic flowers and plants. Now what is contained in his body is not only the surge of pure energy, but also enough genetic power to make these alien life forms rise against the sky. But at this moment, Su Lin looked at the surging murderous intent around him, without any fear. Under this killing intent, the wolf blood in his body began to boil. Have they all come? This is interesting. The coldness and fierceness in Su Lin's dark blue wolf eyes almost rose to the peak at this moment. The first battle is the decisive battle. This also saves the future wolves from having friction with these tyrannical alien species, which leads to a waste of time to fight and kill again. Su Lin has great confidence in his own combat power, hunting talent, blood-burning potion, recovery potion, each is his trump card. The combat power he is currently displaying on the surface is not even 30% of the real peak combat power, so since all these alien species have jumped out, let's kill them all. Only by stepping on the corpses of tyrannical alien species, Surin and the wolves can reach the top, kill. This battle is bound to kill the corpses of the alien species, and the blood will flow like a river. In the land of adventure, all hunters must recognize that the wolf pack is the only king. All, accompanied by an earth-shattering wolf howl, the invincible arrogance on Su Lin's huge wolf body became even stronger. Originally, the alien muskox king thought that facing such a lineup, the white wolf would retreat. But what it didn't expect was that the white wolf still followed his body in such a situation and attacked first. This white wolf is too arrogant, and only such an arrogant wolf king can lead an equally arrogant wolf pack. Su Lin took the lead in attacking, at a speed of more than 300 meters per second, like the wind in magic. Under such an attack at such a speed, none of the alien species present could react. He was the first to rush towards the muskox king. This time, the muskox king had already been seriously injured in the few fights just now. Hunting in nature has been taking advantage of his illness since ancient times to kill him. Su Lin was going to take the lead in beheading this powerful alien muskox king. As long as he beheaded this alien muskox king, he would have to see how courageous the alien grizzly bear an alien reindeer king had been against him war. Pung! Another fierce blow hit the neck of the alien muskox king. This blow made a huge bloody gash in its neck, and the blood inside began to splatter wantonly. The huge body of the muskox king, which was more than 10 meters long, was also knocked back by this heavy blow for tens of meters. In order to stabilize the body, the huge hoof stepped on the thick ice one after another deep hoof prints. But just when the muskox king stabilized his figure, its sensitive senses felt the deadly threat coming again. This made it roar angrily, and directly activate the defensive talent. Mo, accompanied by the muskox king's deep growl, light gray fluorescence also emerged from his body, and this fluorescence quickly entered the muskox king's body, and its defense power also skyrocketed under the addition of this fluorescence. Since the muskox king's original defense power reached more than 600, plus the talent bonus of B-level defense power, the muskox king's defense power broke through thousands in an instant, soaring to an extremely terrifying level. The flesh, which was originally harder than steel, also emitted black golden fluorescence, making it extremely indestructible. When, this time, Sulin's sharp wolf claws hit the muskox king's head again, and the sound of gold and iron colliding sounded, the level of harshness caused the nearby wolves and muskoxen to feel a splitting headache. The tyrannical impact wave also wants to spread around. Sulin's extremely sharp wolf claws did not accomplish any merit in this blow, and did not break through the muskox king's defense. But the heavy force brought about by this blow still made the alien muskox king back a dozen steps again. At the same time, the alien reindeer king and the alien grizzly also rushed over. An earth-shattering wolf howl sounded again, and the talent wolf howl started again. Now these two alien species are less than 50 meters away from Sulin. Such a close distance is impossible to avoid, and there is no way to hide. The two of them almost all withstood the power of this howling wolf. Pung, pung, the tyrannical sound wave attack exploded on them. If the attack power was about 300, normally, it might only make them feel pain, and maybe they couldn't even break through the defense. But the sound waves penetrated everywhere, and the 300 attack power it carried not only exploded their skin and flesh, but also vibrated and killed their internal organs. Under the howling of the wolf, the blood and bones were shaken. Roar! Young! Amidst the severe pain, the alien grizzly bear and the alien reindeer king also unanimously activated their talents. The alien grizzly bear is also a defensive talent. As soon as this defense was opened, light gray fluorescence spread all over its body, completely suppressing the severe pain caused by the wolf howling sound wave. As for the alien reindeer king, it is no longer the talent to increase the deer herd. The talent unlocked by the alien reindeer king is chasing the wind. This talent made the reindeer king's huge body suddenly disappear without a trace, as if a breeze melted into the open world. Not only that, through the numerical attributes of this alien reindeer king, Surin also discovered that its speed has increased dramatically, almost doubled. It has soared to a speed of more than 700, even if it is only one line behind the current Sulin. After they both activated their talents, the alien reindeer king took the lead in attacking Surin. Boom! The same sonic boom exploded, and a sonic boom cloud appeared under the dark night sky. The speed of this alien reindeer king also broke through to the speed of sound. With such an attack speed, he was in front of Sulin in an instant. Facing such a speed, Sulin could only stop hunting the muskox king, and hit this alien reindeer king head-on. Pung! Surin slapped the reindeer king's head with one paw, and the huge counter-shock force knocked both sides back a few steps. Sulin's claw made the reindeer king's deer head bloody. However, the huge sharp horns of the reindeer king also left a bloody hole in the huge wolf's body. At this time, before Sulin had fully stabilized his body, the alien grizzly bear and the alien muskox king rushed to his side. This made him only able to cope with the attacks of the muskox king and the alien grizzly bear. The wolf's body nimbly avoided the impact of the muskox king, but was slammed on the neck by the palm of the alien grizzly in haste. With Shen Meng's strength, Sulin couldn't help but staggered back a dozen steps. There was also a deep wound on the neck by the long claws of the alien grizzly bear, and blood flowed down from the neck. When I first fought with the muskox king, most of the injuries were on the chest or flanks, and most of them were scratches, and few of them really hurt the fundamental injuries. But this blow hurt the bones of Sulin's neck, and the severe pain made his dark blue eyes even more murderous. Sulin was injured, but the arrogance all over his body became more terrifying. He is a wolf king, who came out of the ice and snow step by step. The pain and blood will only make him more ferocious and crazy. Now the combination of the three powerful alien species really made Sulin feel a little pressure. But this is not enough. With a loud wolf howl, It exploded over the Arctic ice sheet. Bloody fluorescence rose from Su Lin's huge wolf body, and the fluorescence quickly entered his body. His dark blue wolf eyes also instantly turned scarlet. His limbs became thicker, and his fangs and wolf claws became sharper again. Hunting talent. Surin's hunting talent is stronger than any alien's talent boost. This talent caused Su Lin's speed and strength to suddenly double. The original speed of 356 meters per second suddenly increased to 7 meters per second. The power has reached nearly 1,600 points. With such a strength bonus, Su Lin has reached the peak of his combat power. At present, most of the people who dare to make a move have shown their heads. If so, let's kill them. At this time, the 3 alien species who had just injured Su Lin, before their eyes showed joy. They were overwhelmed by Su Lin's soaring arrogance and strength. The overwhelming and tyrannical aura spread from Surin's wolf body to the surroundings. Now Su Lin swept towards the 3 alien species, and the 3 alien species only felt as if they were being targeted by the god of death. Boom. Without a moment's hesitation, when the hunting talent pushed Surin's strength to the peak, he immediately launched it, and this time he went straight to the alien musk ox king. The speed of 700 meters per second surpassed the cognition of all the alien species in the land of adventures. Even the peregrine falcon, which claims to be the fastest, watched the battle from a distance with a trace of fear. At such a speed, even it is difficult to react. Such a speed brings out sonic boom clouds under the dark night sky. Before the sound arrives, the shadow comes first. At twice the speed of the sound, Su Lin arrived in front of this alien musk ox king in an instant. There was a bloodthirsty killing gleam in his scarlet eyes. Is this musk ox king really indestructible after he activates his defense talent? The charging Surin's sharp wolf claws popped out completely, and with indescribable speed, he came directly to the alien musk ox king, and then swung his right paw to strike with all his strength. This attack has a full attack power of 60 tons, which can be called invincible. The sharp wolf claws completely tear the air. When you meet a god, you kill a god. When you meet a Buddha, you kill a Buddha. Accompanied by the arrogance of lore, he smashed towards the musk ox king. The tyrannical attack brought about by this blow was beyond the tolerance of the alien musk ox king. Facing this blow, the musk ox king's huge ox eyes were full of panic and fear. 60 tons? What concept is this? Under such a heavy blow, is there any chance of dying? No matter how amazing the musk ox king's current defensive power is, it can't withstand such a blow at all. Its sensitive senses gave it a severe warning of danger, and every cell in its body began to tremble uncontrollably under the threat of death from this blow. But no matter how afraid he was, how he felt the mortal danger, this alien musk ox king couldn't escape Su Lin's attack when the huge sound of metal clashing exploded in the cold air. Any talent has its limit, and Su Lin's blow directly shattered the musk ox king's defensive talent. The black gold fluorescence on the musk ox king's flesh was completely broken by this blow. The moment the talent exploded, it seemed like the most beautiful fireworks bursting. But these fireworks are equivalent to a life-threatening spell for the alien species, whose talent has been crushed. After the heavy blow broke the talent of the alien musk ox king, it directly cracked its huge bullhead skull with several deep cracks. The pain was unimaginable. Under this heavy blow, the alien musk ox king was sent flying hundreds of meters away. On the way it flew upside down. A deep gully was drawn on the thick ice. This heavy blow caused the blood of the alien musk ox king to splash freely from the wound, and the huge blood value of tens of thousands of points began to flow quickly. Su Lin's attack also deterred the rest of the alien species who had just arrived and wanted to reap the benefits. With such a strong combat power, who would dare to snatch food from the wolf? For a moment, all the alien species were shocked in place. Even the alien grizzly bear and the alien reindeer king are no exception. But they are also the fastest to react. After all, they knew better that if the musk ox king was killed, then the two of them would not be far from death. Roar! Young! The 2 powerful alien species gave a long roar and killed Su Lin again. But during the short moment when they were stunned, Su Lin had already come to the alien musk ox king again. Pung! Another heavy blow. Before the musk ox king landed, Su Lin's sharp wolf claws hit the chest of the alien musk ox king again. The attack power of up to 1,600 points, mixed with the bonus of double the speed of sound, made this blow smash the chest bone of the alien musk ox king and completely dented it. Mo! At this time, the musk ox king's defensive talent was shattered, and it had suffered such a heavy blow, it could faintly smell the threat of death. It is still in mid-air now, and it has no help at all, nor can it resist Su Lin, can only desperately struggle to open another talent again. Hold your interest. At least the breath-holding talent can help it suppress the severe pain from its chest, and it can also help it suppress the deterioration of the injury. And when the muskox king was struggling desperately, the alien reindeer king and the alien grizzly also came to Surin. The heavy slap of the alien grizzly bear, and the impact of the sonic boom, brought out by the reindeer king made Su Lin's eyes even more ferocious. Just because the three alien species teamed up to hurt him, doesn't mean they can still do it now. When Su Lin turned his head, there was another howl of wolves, and the sound of howling wolves rolled. With the bonus of hunting talent, the attack power of Wolf Howl alone approached 600 points. This kind of attack power is almost equal to the attack power of the muskox king just now, coupled with such a short distance. With an instant burst of thousands of meters per second, this howl of a wolf sent the two alien species flying away like a strong wind. Pung, pung. Both the alien grizzly bear and the alien reindeer king were shocked by the power of this howl, so that their ears, noses and mouths were full of blood. The two sides are also retreating hundreds of meters away, trying to stabilize their bodies. Ice and snow are also on this road, flying and dancing wantonly. In these gaps of flying ice and snow, the alien grizzly bear and the alien reindeer king looked at Su Lin with horror in their eyes. It was also at this time that they realized how terrifying the white wolf's combat power was. Just the power of howling alone almost caused them to be seriously injured. The heterogeneous grizzly bear was better. With a body shield with defensive talent, even the wolf howl talent could only make it bleed a little. But the alien reindeer king is different. Its talent for chasing the wind is only to restrain breath and increase speed, and its defense is still only more than 400 points of its own. Facing the power of both the hunting talent and the howling wolf talent at such a close range, it felt like several internal organs were shaken out of several cracks, and blood was crazily spilling out. The wound on the deer's head, that had been torn apart by Surin's wolf's claws, became even more bloody and bloody under the howl of the wolf, and even the white bones on the wound could be clearly seen. Under the howl of the wolf, the alien reindeer king felt his brains were blown out, and the wound was so painful that it seemed to explode. Young, it is at, roaring in pain on the spot. The tragic scene made the eyelids of all the onlookers twitch wildly. The power of a howl. This is just the howling power of this white wolf. Power of a howl caused damage to both of the alien species, making the alien reindeer king even more miserable. Just how terrifying is the fighting power of this white wolf? After driving back the alien grizzly bear and the alien reindeer king, Su Lin also turned his attention to the alien muskox king again. The muskox king had already landed and struggled to get up, and impressively opened its last talent. Maybe it also knows today's battle, if it wins, it will perish. So it didn't hold back at all, and used all its talents. Only a bloody battle can win a chance. The alien muskox king really regretted helping the reindeer king and the alien grizzly bear, but even if he regretted it, it would be too late to say anything at this time. The current situation is irreversible. Only the blood of one side can bring this battle to an end. This made the alien muskox king rush toward Su Lin fiercely. The speed and strength of the B-level savage charge are also very impressive. For a while, the muskox king's speed could reach the speed of sound, and even his strength value reached thousands. But it's not enough to compete with Su Lin, who has turned on the hunting talent. Su Lin's violent strength and ghost-like speed made it impossible to guard against. Pung, pung, pung. Since the alien muskox king's defensive talent was shattered, the bloodbath between Surin and it has changed from the sound of gold and iron colliding to the sound of flesh and blood colliding again. The tyrannical anti-shock force of the collision between the two sides exploded in the dark night sky. Su Lin and this alien muskox king have a lot of shopping. Among them, the alien grizzly bear also came to interfere. But the speed of the alien grizzly bear was still too slow, and it couldn't catch up with Su Lin's shadow at all. As for the alien reindeer king, after being seriously injured by Surin's roar, it took a long time to recover. A pair of black and white deer eyes, looking at this tragic battlefield, was full of fear for a moment. It's scared. Yes, it is really scared. Where did it ever think that the pack of wolves it provoked more than a month ago would be so terrifying? How could they have imagined that that pack of wolves would have such an arrogance and invincible wolf king? Just to avenge that day, this wolf king dared to lead the pack of wolves on an expedition for hundreds of miles, killing the deer pack to the point of extinction. Even the land of adventures, a place full of tyrannical alien species, couldn't stop Chi Senhen's killing intent. Driven by Senhen's killing intent, this wolf king and his pack of wolves will kill wherever they go. Many powerful alien species in the land of adventures have all died under his wolf's claws one after another. And today, is he going to die too? Thinking of this, the alien reindeer king couldn't help but let out a long cry of sorrow. It has not been easy growing from an ordinary reindeer to the present, so it has a stronger desire to survive than other common species. But with the terrifying killing intent rising from that white wolf, it knew that its chances of surviving were too low. But it doesn't want to die. It still wants to live young. So in the struggle between life and death, this reindeer king also opened up another talent of his own, Bloodthirsty Asylum. This is a group-boosting talent, and it exudes the same black fluorescence as it did on the wolf pack's territory that day. Under its conscious control, the black fluorescent light poured into the surrounding muskox bodies. This made the muskox, which was already fierce and brave, a little bigger, and its dark purple eyes also turned into a rich jet black. After the reindeer king activates his talent, he can also control these muskoxen, so it did not allow these muskoxen to fight back against the wolves. After all, the outcome of this bloody battle is no longer with these ordinary wolves, but here is the Wolf King. Following the command of the reindeer king's loud calls, only a part of the muskoxen were left to block the wolves, and the rest of the muskoxen bravely launched a suicidal attack on Surin. With the addition of the reindeer king's talent, these muskoxen will not know what pain is, what fear is, but become more bloodthirsty and ferocious, and even their combat power has increased a lot. Perhaps after this battle, there will be few muskoxen left. At that time, I am afraid that the muskox king will also settle accounts with it, but no matter what, we must survive first. As long as they are still alive, why worry about not being able to pull a group? In this thought, driven by the reindeer king, muskoxen rushed towards Surin. With so many muskoxen running wildly, they are quite powerful, and the ice and snow are also splashing under the thick hooves of the oxen. But at this time, Sulin didn't care about these common muskox rushing in, because after opening the hunting talent, every second of time is extremely precious. Now, half of the time has passed in the fierce shopping, and this alien muskox king is also in a dying state. He can't stop. All this made him give another earth-shattering howl of a wolf, which could seriously injure the alien grizzly bear and the alien reindeer king, not to mention these ordinary muskoxen. With a howl, the ice layer shattered. I don't know how many muskoxen were also shaken to pieces by the howl of wolves, and countless blood mist floated in the air. It's just that under the command of the reindeer king, these muskoxen were not gathered together, but from all directions. Therefore, with Surin's roar, only the muskox in one direction was shattered, while the muskox in the other direction were still rushing forward. But with the help of this whistling power, he activated his peak speed again, and the sonic boom sounded again, and Sulin went straight to the alien muskox king. In the few shopping battles just now, the pair of hard horns of the alien muskox king were broken by Sulin from the root to the belt bone. Now its huge bull head without horns is dripping with blood. The bull's eyes were scarleter than Sulin, who had started hunting. Blood was gushing from the nose and ears, and dots of white brains also flowed out from the wound on the bull's head. Originally, the talent that was opened last, the savage collision, couldn't suppress the muskox king's serious injury, and there was a sign that it was about to collapse. It's just that the alien muskox king is still holding on with his huge vitality and tenacious vitality, and doesn't want to fall down. After feeling the breath of death, the only remaining sense organ still stared at the huge bull's eyes, and launched an attack. But when it was seriously injured, its attack was too slow. Even the sharpest and sharpest horns of it have been broken, and its attack is so weak that it can't hurt Sulin at all. Surin jumped up during the charge, ignored the muskox king's counterattack, and threw down at its bloody ox head condescendingly. The cruelty of killing in his eyes has reached its peak. He fought this battle to establish his prestige, and this alien muskox king was 13 or 14 meters in size and had more than 10 tons of alien flesh and blood. For the wolves, the flesh and blood essence alone was a big deal small game, so this alien muskox king must die. There is no second ending. Pung! A heavy blow landed on the bull's head of the alien muskox king. This blow completely shattered the cracked bull's head. Crash! It was like the sound of broken equipment, accompanied by splashes of flesh and brains. The skulls were also flying in all directions, shooting onto the ice. Most of the bull's head of this alien muskox king was crushed by this blow. The last talent of the alien muskox king was also smashed. At the moment of collapse, it was as gorgeous as fireworks, and also like the elegy of life. After losing his talent to suppress his injuries, the alien muskox king, who still had some consciousness, also felt severe pain from all over his body. The severe pain made it unable to stand still, its limbs went limp, and its huge body fell to the ground with a bang. A body weighing more than 10 tons hit the ice layer, causing the entire ice layer to shake slightly. The muskox king's injuries were extremely severe. Even if Sulin stopped with such injuries, he would still survive. A bloodshot eye on the remaining half of the bull's head also has only dots of expression. This look reveals fear of death, love for life, and reluctance for this world. But no matter what, this alien muskox king, who dominates the land of adventure, has come to a dead end after all. Blood flowed wantonly from the wound, spreading all over his body, and staining the ice beneath him bright red. After the alien muskox king was clearly dead, Su Lin's scarlet eyes suddenly turned to look at the surviving alien grizzly bear and alien reindeer king. This gaze made them feel the breath of death blowing towards their faces. Now, Su Lin, who is covered in blood and brains all over his body, looks like a bloody god of death in the eyes of all the aliens watching the battle. All the way to fight and kill, all the opponents standing in front of him fell down. Even the extremely tyrannical muskox king is no exception. The heavy pressure brought by such an invincible wolf king, who was killed from the mountain of corpses and the sea of blood, made all the alien species, who were paying attention to this unprecedented war, feel a little suffocated and depressed.
Thank you for watching Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.